Ball, dunks.
Look at Strong running the floor out in front.
Well, that sucked. St. John's 72, UConn 52. UConn gets absolutely plastered in the Big East tournament finals. Not a fun night. Not the best time I've had watching a UConn game, but all credit to St. John's. That was a wire-to-wire assault tonight. So bad that I got to be honest, man. I mean, I don't know about you. I feel like I got my ass kicked, and I didn't play in the game.
Woo, that sucked. To quote Brad Underwood. Woo, that sucked. Good evening. Welcome to a fucking autopsy here on Connecticut Basketball Spaces. Yeah, that was. I'll give you props. See, from our perspective, we never thought of it as our point of view, but you nailed this, and I agreed with you about how the way these teams match up. I said the overtime thing, but you're like, nah, I don't think overtime. These teams are like a bad mix with one another. They glass jaw at times, and one of them gets friggin' rocked like Patterson-Liston.
Yeah.
And at 10-0 St. John's 3 minutes in, we were staring at the fucking lights because that thing was over.
Yeah.
Over. Good flurry second half for a while, but that teammate, I will defend everything I have said about that St. John's team. That is a brutally built roster. This tonight is entirely about what an incredible coach Rick Pitino is. Full stop.
Yeah.
Because the GM got fired for stealing money from NIL deals from kids. The roster makes no fucking sense. And there he goes, back-to-back tournament, regular season champs. The only thing we can do is sit here and take it. That's it. Sorry, guys. Unless they go and win this whole thing, and hopefully they do, there's nothing we can say. That's it. That's what tonight is. And my biggest, we sat here a week ago, Hot Balls, and we talked about, it was the moment of triumph in Milwaukee. You can win a championship. And that was what they did in the moment, was that. Well, wait, no, the Big East is a tournament league, right? We've got the Big East tournament. Tonight, in the moment of triumph, the sequel, greater triumph, that was what they did.
Yeah.
They're 29-5. I am profoundly concerned at this team's ability to win 4 games in a row here.
Yeah. I mean, they just have, at the end of the day, first of all, I just want to tip the cap to St. John's. That's probably one of the that's definitely the most comprehensive ass kicking, I think, of the Hurley era. That was just a leave no doubt.
Well, okay. I have a weird one. The Iowa game, his third game here, but I don't care about that.
I'm picking my own teeth out of my arm. That was so bad. That we got our fucking asses kicked in almost every single aspect of the game tonight. And, it just is what it is. For, a fan base that at times, acts like it's above the Big East. Oh boy. Our shit just got snatched tonight, and it is what it is. It sucks. But man, just a thorough shit pumping. They proved it tonight when it needed to happen. And, it's funny. Yeah, I was just reading a lot of shit on the timeline about, this group quitting and stuff like that. They laid an egg tonight. They laid an egg last week. I don't think it's a lack of desire with this group. I think partly this matchup in particular is just lends itself to blowouts. Had we hit 2 or 3 threes in the first 5 minutes of that game, got up by 8-9 points, they don't have the shooting to come back against us. They just don't have it. Right.
Well, they don't need it needs to not be 10-0. It's 10-6. The start is fine.
Yeah. And then the other piece of it is too, is it's one of those scenarios where if, they're just out muscling us and seamlessly getting to the rack and getting easy twos, and Harris isn't going to show up for a half.
Just downhill drive.
Just downhill drive. It's crazy. We're just going to dig too much of a hole. And, that's what happened tonight, and it doesn't lend itself to close games. I figured somebody was going to get an ass kicking tonight. And, I wouldn't have been surprised if this had been the same way, the opposite way tonight. I just think that's kind of how these two teams match up. But, look, I mean, it's, the profoundly concerned piece about them winning 6 games in a row. They just have too many players on this team that are just they're not dependable. They're not, I've never I'd say at least the first 5 years or 6 years of Dan's tenure, I never felt like going game to game. You're just like, man, who's going to show up today? I never ever had, like, Sunogo's had bad games. Like Donovan had like 1 or 2 stinkers. Like those are going to happen. But like, I never had a feeling like, oh man, I wonder if so-and-so is going to show up and play today and give us an A game. And there's like 4 guys on this roster that just don't have the consistency. And, they have like 6 different settings. We saw what they did, to St. John's a couple of weeks ago, and like, that's the ceiling. This is a team that beat Florida. They've beaten a lot of really great teams, and toughed some really tough wins out. Kansas on the road, for example. But, they also have a floor that, like, if 3 or 4 guys don't show on a night and we're not hitting threes, we're not doing anything. And they've also just got issues that frankly just haven't gotten better all year. The turnovers, just 19 fucking turnovers tonight. What did they have? They had 24 points off turnovers tonight. Like, yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
Like you don't have ball security. Like you don't. And a lot of the turnovers were like so unforced, just throwing the ball away, just not making reads, not being locked in, man. And it just, we've got, it's a crazy thing to say about a team that's, 29-5 right now. Ended up going whatever it was, 19-4 overall in Big East play. Like, this is a team that's like supremely talented, but the reason that they're 29-5 is because they're supremely talented. And the reason that they don't have any trophies to show for it is because they're just supremely talented. And they have not been able to kind of just unlock that gear. And I said it early in the year, man, I stand by it. Like, I put some of this at the coaching staff's feet too, because they get paid the big bucks to try to figure a lot of this stuff out. And they just haven't been able to get it out of this group. And, I'm going to bring the analogy up for the 9,000th fucking time, but like, I feel like there's just a lot of chasing the idea of what this team, could be, as opposed to, coaching the personnel that you have and going with the pieces that really work. And, you get strung too far out over your skis on this shit. And like, this is kind of what you get, and I use the pitcher analogy all the time. And this is the same kind of team that's like a raw college pitcher. They're going to give you a nuclear performance that like just looks significantly different from any other performance a pitcher can give you. They're also going to watch the wheels blow off in a way that you can't even comprehend, to the point where you can't get a guy hot enough, fast enough, to come in and stop the bleeding.
Yeah. So they come in such friggin' bunches. The turnovers, they just go on runs of turnovers. I've never seen a UConn team go on runs of turnovers like this.
Yeah. I mean, they had 4 or 5 opportunities to really get back in the game tonight and just couldn't take care of the basketball.
Malachi hits a layup with 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go to cut it to 10. That is the last field goal they had in the game with 8:03 to go.
And look, I mean, here's the other thing. Like, if Terrace is just going to play flat-footed and shitty, it just allowed St. John's to totally sell out in the 3-point line, which is, they aren't doing anything earth-shattering. I think, I don't think there's anything like cavalier about sitting there and being like, all right, well, let's sell it on the 3-point line to start things off, and we'll see which Terrace Reed shows up. And it could suck. Like, if he's really on, that could really suck. But like, it just took our ability for that math advantage that we have with the threes just right off the table. Then we just didn't shoot well on top of it. So, but another bad 3-point shooting performance. It's like, if Terrace isn't there and the threes aren't dropping, we don't have enough ways, or the physicality to be able to create offense in other ways. And, you go back, and again, I'm not comparing this team to the 2014 because they're not even in their orbit. Really the 23 team even, but you look at the three guys that we had playing out in the perimeter, and Steph and Cam and Tristan, and these were all big dudes that were physical, that could get to the hoop any number of ways. And Braylon is a tremendously talented player. He is built like a lawn dart. He's not great off the bounce, and it's kind of like a finesse, like whirly twirly, mid-range kind of game that he's got. Solo's kind of the same thing, except he's just way less consistent from the perimeter. Not really a slasher, and his handle's not great. Silas, I think, fits the bill, but man, I've said it all season, the last 2 weeks, I would say, he has not looked like the same player, and he looks like he's out of gas. And it's what happens when, you misfire on your evaluation of a backup point guard again that, can sometimes play and sometimes doesn't show up. And, they've just got so many guys in key spots that you can only take so many leaks, man. And I can see this team going on a tear for 3 or 4 games. I can't see them putting like 6 real performances together. They haven't done it all year. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm gonna hope for it. But there's just too many slots on this roster and too many guys that are too in and out to make it work enough to get like 6. We'll see.
And the teams above them are really good. That's the combination problem that you run into with them. The frustrating thing tonight is it's nothing new. The issues in the game.
Yeah.
Wow. They do the same starting 5 they've run for 2.5 months that we've said isn't as productive as the other 5-man units. And they go out and in a game that you hope is going to be tight, well, you're in a 10-0 hole because you won't separate the guards. A week ago, remember? Well, they shot 3 of 21 from 3. That won't happen again. Well, they did not shoot 3 of 24 from 3 like a week ago. They just shot 3 of 19 from 3, which is better by like statistically, but really bad. And if you're going to get another game where the difference between Terrace Reed and Zuby Ejiofor, who's an incredible player, is Zuby, you know what you're getting from him every single night.
Yeah.
One night you didn't get it, and tonight it fueled him. And the thing that ticks me off about tonight is UConn looked like a team that was surprised by anything that was happening. And I have no idea why the fuck you'd be surprised by any of that. What? Oh, they're going to be pissed off at the last game, so they're going to be intense. They're going to try and speed you up and force turnovers. This is the same shit they've been doing in UConn St. John's games for 2 years. Why is any of this a shock to them? Why? Last night we saw the new, creative amount plays with Jaden Ross. Do we do that tonight? Nope. We're going to let Alex struggle to inbound the ball against the St. John's press for the 2nd year in a row and the 5th game in 2 years tonight is not on him, but like he can't inbound the ball against that press. The evidence is in front of your face and we're just not going to change anything. The lineup doesn't work as well, but we're not going to change it. I don't get it because they thought 3 weeks ago when they clearly lined up all the chambers on one night and there was way more on the line for UConn than St. John's. They kicked their ass. What did you think you think tonight was going to be easy? I didn't think tonight was going to be easy. I thought tonight was going to be metaphorically a war. And St. John's came ready for war, ready for a battle, ready for a Saturday night in the Garden, white hot crowd, physical battle. And UConn just thought we can just outshoot them. Well, you'd better make the shots. And this team, as well as they should by design and skill, they don't make enough of the shots. I don't want, if somebody shows me a shot quality chart, I swear to God, I'm going to jump off my roof. I don't care. They were 3 for 19 from 3 and they lost by 20. Were the refs a little bad? Yeah, didn't matter. Was the Dan technical insane? Yeah, didn't matter. They just did not have a championship intensity for the game. And I don't know how in the hell that happens in a Big East title game against the only rival with a pulse you have played for the last 2.5 months. How do they do what they did in Hartford 3 weeks ago and do tonight? That's the same team that did both of those things. And I hope they go nuts here. And we're playing this back in Indianapolis and talking about what a fucking idiot I am. It would not be the first time and it won't be the last. But holy shit, you've got more resolve than I do to think that these guys are just going to suddenly, well, we've learned from it. It's a hot balls. They say the right things. They always say the right things. They know exactly what to say, and I believe them, and they're great kids. But show me what you are, and I have to believe you. And it's hard. I don't think it's they didn't care. I think that's absolute horseshit. I do think they care. It's just it's a level of intensity that you have to win in this league, and a kind of an asshole nature to you that really fits our show and us. But I don't think these guys have it in them, and it makes them wonderful citizens and great people. But when the chips are down and shit gets tough, no. I really do think they're a drastically better basketball team than St. John's. Shout out to Rick, to RSO, and all those guys, the St. John's guys who listen to our show and are actually good guys, and a great night for them. I think UConn is a drastically better team than St. John's. But if you put them on the court against one another, tonight can absolutely happen, just like the last game can happen. It is a matchups based thing going forward. And the good news for UConn is they're not going to face a lot of Zuby Ejiofor's going forward. The bad news is might face Yaxel or Carlos. And if you thought Zuby was bad, boy, have I got news for you.
I said it last week, it's, they're a very college athlete in 2026 group. Like I said, everybody's got their laminated card, and they know what to say. And I do believe that they really mean it. I don't think this is them putting on an act, but just that, how do I get over the hump? How do I clear the mental block? How, do I find that level of intensity? They just don't have that ability to do it. And I've said it all year, this team's kind of missing a motherfucker, but really, I mean, it's just a lot of consistency, and their record is what it is because they're so talented, and their record is what it is, and they don't have anything because they're just really talented. And so, we're going to see. But tonight was as comprehensive a demolition as I've seen a team take in the Big East.
Yeah. And
tournament final ever. I mean, this was, just going to be memorable.
UConn at 99 to them was.
Yeah, that's true.
There have been demolitions in this game. We love this league. Yeah. These have not all been classics in this league.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's up there. That was an ass kicking from pillar to post. And, we're at the point, I mean, we're 34 games in. I know what Solo Ball should be as a 3-point shooter. Here's what he is, 30.5%. I know what Braylon Mullins should be as a 3-point shooter. He was great last night. Last night, by the way, he was not great shooting threes. He was bad tonight. He was bad against Xavier. He was really bad against Marquette. He was bad against Seton Hall. I know he can break out, but I just think the physical grind of this league has worn down on him. Good news, we're going into a 15 versus 2 game. We'll all feel great, and we should, and it'll look drastically different on Friday. But if they pick your random shitty SEC team as in a 7-10 game opponent next week, they're very physical teams. This isn't just the Big East thing. They're more physical than Xavier and Marquette. And that's my one concern with Braylon right now, because it's not his fault. He's 18. He's 18. And now the biggest thing that we haven't even hit on 20 minutes of the show is Silas okay? That's the biggest concern tonight. As much as tonight sucked, if they lose by 50 tonight and Silas is fine, we laugh on this show. Now Silas, and they said post-game, Dan said we're at the point, by the way, I love Dan Hurley, but boy, if you believe Dan Hurley on injuries, I have a bridge to sell you. They said it's minor. It's just a minor ankle sprain. They're going to take care of it. They're going to get it x-rayed to check it out. If you want to talk about this thing being cooked, if he's cooked, this is cooked. I'm hopeful he's not, because they seem positive, and I'm not going to be that nihilistic about it. But the most important thing that happened tonight is Silas hurting his ankle, going back in when UConn was down 15 for some reason, and summarily immediately hurting it again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest issue. Coming out of this is Silas should not have gotten back in that game as quick as he did. Especially with the score being where it was. It kind of annoyed me a little bit, but it's another situation. It just is what it is. It just makes a pretty horrible outcome even worse. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we have the same spaces,
It's the same space. We do it, when they lose eventually, which will suck. It's going to lose. It's going to look, maybe not by 20. It is going to look exactly like tonight. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be Terrace's inconsistent.
This with the women's team for a number of years, or they had one kind of core group of girls, and like when they got that deer in the headlights look, man, you just knew.
You knew 20 minutes to go in the game. You knew.
Yeah,
and it's the worst place to be because you're still rooting for them, and you go through. You run through all 5 stages 6 times in an hour, but you know deep down. And that's my fear. It's the first time I've started to maybe know this team, and it's not a thing I want to know about them because I still don't think we've figured them out, but the losses all look the same, man. And the idea of this team as a 3-point shooting team and the reality of this team as a 3-point shooting team are not in the same universe. And we are 35 games in, and maybe it all corrects now at the highest pressure time of the year as a 2 seed with everybody watching you in the country against teams with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But boy, that'd be a first. That would really be a first if now.
I don't know. I'm still actually pretty optimistic about this team in the tournament just because they're just comprehensively we're just a difficult scout as a program but I don't know, man. We just have too many keys.
It's like, they're going to lose the 15 seed without sound. I'm like, no, stop. No, they get hit by a comet. They get hit by a comet, but it's hard. Like the Terrace's game tonight was like the perfect game to summarize Terrace's season. He was great in the second half once they got down 20. He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes, just.
There's some bunny after bunny after bunny after
There's
bunny.
There's a reason Zuby is the player of the year and he isn't. And he's more talented than Zuby, but doesn't. Like, that was of all the crazy shit that fucking Ryan Esquire was screaming on our space. The fact that he was like, it's like on UConn for not developing, like tonight, this is why why isn't Terrace doing more, folks? We do 5 hours of this shit twice a week for 6 months. It ain't there, man. Like we can get it in pieces and bunches and it can be enough to win really big games against important opponents. But like, people want to jump on Dan for this. Like, I don't know, man. I think they've tried everything at this point. And the thing that concerned me about tonight specifically, because we all like to point out what they've done in the non-conference. Arizona was without Terrace. Kansas was without Terrace. Tonight was with Terrace against St. John's. So those are the 3. Florida. Terrace played against Florida, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, thank you. So,
that was like sort of Terrace, yes.
Yes. So
it was a limited minutes.
I'll give him credit for that. But like, those are the teams they played with elite bigs. Those are what we're looking to have, right? In 2 weeks. You're almost certainly playing a team with elite bigs. Does Terrace perform against elite bigs when it matters? He can. Does he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we can, I think it's really easy to kind of like sit back and do blame game thing, right? Like, I think.
Yeah, and tonight's on.
Because the staff are the ones that evaluated him.
Yeah.
But they said
we can coach
and
fix it. And I get
it, man. Like, I get the appeal in the package, but like, he was also a guy that I took a lot of shit for being like, I don't know. I don't think he was a particularly difficult evaluation. So I don't know. I've been wrong more often than I've been right about a lot of things with this team.
I really wanted to be wrong on Alex tonight because right. I said, have a legacy game in your last game, and it sucks the way his last game at the Big East started.
Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing is too, like, I just don't want to get on dogging the players.
No,
a lot. Like, St. John's kicked
tonight's not one individual guy. It's
St. John's kicked the fucking shit out of us tonight, and they jumped him right from the off. I thought the guys just looked a little panicked, and I thought Rick hit all the right buttons tonight. Like, there's just some nights you go out, last week against Marquette was, number one, you had some shooting variation, but like, that's a game you get on these guys about. And you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, you got to beat the last place team to win a share of a regular season championship. Tonight, they just went out and got their fucking shit kicked in. Like, just full stop. And it happens. So, I know it's not always the answer everybody wants, but, especially coming off a big spot like this, but that's really just, they just got their shit kicked in tonight. And, it was what it was. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack. you can get very macro in this and talking about, what are the long-term prospects for the program, and what are we doing, not doing right, recruiting, and we'll have a whole off season to kind of dissect that and get very existential about all this. But to me, there are 2-3 seeds, 2-3 seed. That's what they are, and this is what these teams do. And they have a switch where they can beat anybody, and they have also the ability to do this.
Yeah, we're watching them because we know they can turn it on, but it's win or go home now. Officially, they need to.
Yeah.
And that's why I love doing our show, but it's stupid. Are they gonna? I have no idea. We're all gonna find out together next Friday in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's just kind of a crazy, wild, just one of the weirdest seasons I can ever remember. Comprehensively, definitely the weirdest Dan season. Just a surreal, weird, strange, goofy season. But I think this team's just more of a pedestrian, very good team than it is like a real bona fide national title contender, which, is fine. I'm not angry about it. And I'm not worried about the long-term health of the program or any of that stupid shit. But, it's been one of the first teams that just I've kind of watched, and I feel like the more we learn about them, I feel like the less we know. I really don't know what to make of them. So, I don't know. Whatever. Do you want to let the Wieners whine a little early tonight?
Yeah, because I think I've done quite a bit of whining.
Circles.
We can join everyone else on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hot dog, the UConn Huskies season is here. The good folks at Martin Roll Souls are here to help keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa, sausages, deli meats, you name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at their retail store at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. That's Martin Roll Souls, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weiner Line. And folks, it's time to get to the meat of tonight's show, and by that, we mean the Martin Roll Souls Wiener Weiner Line. We'll be taking calls and check-ins here for the next hour or so. So we're going to get some folks rolling in here, and who are we going to go to first here? Let's go to Toasty first. Toasty, what do you got for us, man? Toasty going once. Oh, you're on mute there, bud. Toasty, we'll come back to you.
Sorry. I'm right here.
I got him. Now I got him. All right. Toasty, what do you got?
Yeah, so my thing I was going to say with this team is they seem to me like they're the type of team where they're just they're in the middle of being good. To me, they're good enough to make a run to the Final Four, but they're also the team where I could see them get knocked out in the first round. It's just so unpredictable with this team. You see them beat St. John's by 30. You see them dominate the non-conference early in the season, and then they just disappear in these big games. And that's the thing. Compared to the UConn teams of the past, to me, it's their finishing too. We got to finish at the rim if we're gonna go far in this tournament. I feel like that's been a problem too. Is we'll sell an open layup, and then that'll lead to a 10-2 run. You got to take advantage of that in the tournament. You can't have that stuff happen because that stuff will kill your season. Especially the fact that I like this team, but I feel to me it's got 2022 written all over. I'm not saying we're going to lose in the first round to a 15 seed. If we lose to that, would be catastrophic. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get knocked out in second round to a 10 or 7. I really wouldn't be shocked if that happened because we're not it just takes one bad game. Obviously you could say it takes one good game too if Solo gets hot. But if we have a game like this where we just can't get the lid off the basket or getting out rebounded, we're probably not going far.
Yeah, I mean, this team does all of the things that teams that get bounced early in the NCAA tournament do. They turn the ball over a lot. They don't shoot free throws particularly well, although they have been better, I think, last couple of weeks, which is irony. I think we won the rebounding battle tonight again too, which is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yep. Won the rebounding battle by 8.
Yeah, and then you just got, in and out shooting. I could totally see us like getting to like an Elite Eight and absolutely racking Arizona and going to the Final Four and getting bounced by a kooky 4 seed.
I'll take, but like honestly, like with this team, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but like I'll take getting to the Final Four and getting stomped over like losing in the second round because like I personally feel like now that we lost to St. John's the way that we did, like unless we make it to the Final Four and they get bounced in like the round of 30, like they're gonna hold this over us, rightfully so. I mean, they deserve it, they earned it. But my thing is with like I even said dating back to like 2021, NIL was the greatest thing that ever happened to St. John's and to the Big East because like schools like that, Big Ten schools can have the NIL power. With St. John's, you gotta. That's the thing I'm saying though. St. John's is going to be a thorn in our side for years because they have the NIL money. They can get almost anybody they want. I think that's going to be the rivalry going forward. But touching on what I was saying on with this team is, it's like if you think about, you were making the point earlier about how Klingen and Castle were just like every game they played almost, it was like, boom, you're guaranteed that at least they might have an average game, but they won't have a terrible game. Like,
yeah,
the only game I can think of where Klingen was like really bad was the Creighton game in 24, when just the whole team just had an off night. That's it. Literally one game out of the 65 he played at UConn. Like, this team, it seems like if Reed may have like the points. Like, that's the thing. He scored like 17 points tonight. He'll score a lot of points, but he'll also turn the ball over like 10 times, and he'll sell, like I said, he'll sell a layup. Like, that's the problem with the team is I don't even think their defense is as bad as it looks. What happens is they're giving up at least 12 points a game and fast break points off turnovers.
Yeah, and well, they're not going to, I mean, I'm hopeful, they're not going to face a team that's going to force as many turnovers as St. John's with the defensive intensity, and also we'll see how it gets called.
Yeah.
It's going to get called tighter in the NCAA tournament. It always is. It's harder to just force turnover after turnover after turnover because some of them just get called fouls, rightly or wrongly. They just do. Yeah, tonight UConn 11 of 25 on layups.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. I mean,
and so you mentioned the 7-10 game. I did too. So if you want to know what we're looking at in terms of bracket matrix as of tonight, the consensus 7 seeds are Kentucky, Miami, Florida, St. Mary's, and UCLA. And the 10 seeds are UCF, Texas A&M, NC State, and Santa Clara.
NC State and Miami would scare the hell out of me. Those are the two that...
Texas A&M is going to bombs away from 3, which makes them probably a good matchup for UConn because we're just going to try and do the same thing, but that can be shaky. Santa Clara is a very good team. And I've liked UCF a lot at times. Those are the 10 seeds. I'm not even getting into hot balls. There you go. Who's the team you mentioned when we spoke on the phone at 9:00?
Kentucky.
You think we aren't eating a lot of shit right now? Yeah. What if we lose to Mark Pope?
Well, I'm more worried about a team like that's got like a lot of talent and could just decide to snort a colossal line of cocaine and do something. That's what Arkansas did to St. John's last year.
You think there's any chance? You think there's any chance? Because like as much as I follow UConn, I'm just not smart enough with that like bracketology stuff and like that. You think there's any chance they put us in the same region with St. John's, so like they can have like an Elite Eight St. John's UConn matchup, something like that?
It's so that would be, they've played 3 times, so they're really strongly going to try and separate. They could not meet until the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
So they would have to be, I'm trying to remember the bracket in my head 20 hours before we get it. They would have to be. They could only meet up in an Elite Eight situation if they were in the same region. I would be very surprised.
Yeah,
if
I
UConn
would
and St.
too.
John's were in the same region.
I was just wondering because for me, my biggest I think personally that this team, like I said, is so Jekyll and Hyde that it's just like impossible to predict. Like I feel like 2022, like I said, they're not as bad. Like they're somewhere in between that 2022 team and that 2023 team at the beginning of the season before they found their footing and got really hot. Like they can lose to a team in the first round or second round. I mean, if they have like a guy has like a Teddy Allen game, like puts up like 30, 34 points, but they can also lose. You talk about the turnovers. The problem is most of the turnovers that UConn has aren't like a steal or a block. They're unforced turnovers, throwing the ball away. Like as much as I love Caravan, and he's one of the greatest winning players in UConn history, Caravan is great when he's the third or fourth option, like he was on those championship squads, even the fifth option sometimes. When he's that option where he's like, you're cold and you need a shot, he's that guy. But when Caravan is your second option, that's when you have a problem. Caravan is a great facilitator and a great all around player, but he should not be your second go to option when the threes aren't falling for ball.
Yeah, Toasty, I'll push back a little. Alex isn't supposed to be the second option on the team this year. That's how they fixed it.
Yeah.
They got the best guard in the portal, Silas. They have Terrace. They have one of a lottery pick level freshman talent, and they have Solo. Like this is not last year.
No,
they're not asking Alex to do.
No, much. I agree, but the way that
they're just not.
No, they're not asking him to. But the way that Terrace is playing it, when Terrace has a bad night, they have to rely on Caravan more. Like it's the Seton Hall game. He stepped up big time, and he had a huge game because Terrace got in foul trouble. Ball didn't have a good game, and he's right there. He's the third option, but he played like the first option in that game because they needed him to. Like I just feel like the problem is with this team is it's the cohesion. Like I feel like the weird thing is with UConn, as great as we've been all these years, we really haven't had much experiences with like the one and done. Like aside from Andre Drummond, Castle was like the first real true big one and done UConn player in a long time. Not like a transfer, like not like Spencer, but I feel like that's the problem is the flip over every year. Like I feel like that's the problem with this team is they're having trouble gelling, and like by the time they get gelling, they're good. But it's like the turnaround. I feel like that's the one thing that we have to maybe next year. Like I'd love to see if we could get a few more of the guys to return instead of like revamping the whole entire roster every single year.
Yeah, no, Toasty, I got news for you. That ain't coming back. Go watch the Patriot League because that's not the way it is.
I'm not saying. Obviously, I'm not saying you return 10 stars. I'm saying I want at least 4 guys, not all starters, but at least 3 or 4 to stay. Like think about what it was in 23. We lost 4 starters, but we still had 3 or 4 key guys from the 23 team that stayed on in 24, and it was cohesion. Like I don't know. Something seems off to me about this team that like I don't think that the chemistry is there. Like you watch highlights of the 24 team, the 23 team. They score a big bucket. The whole bench is up. Like to me, it doesn't seem like a lot of the guys on this team getting that. Just could be from the outside. I just don't feel like the symmetry is there. I feel like, Terrace and, is learning obviously a new scheme this year or whatever. He came to UConn. But I just personally feel like that's the detriment of this team is just the play style just doesn't match with what UConn's doing. And that's not his fault. I just feel like think about it, right? Ejiofor for St. John's is like the perfect type of player for Pitino, a big physical center. Terrace is big and physical, but he has a lot of mental mistakes and turnovers. Zuby is extremely disciplined with the ball. He very rarely is going to make a mistake and turn it over. That's the difference I feel like between Zuby and Reed is that they're athletic. I think talent-wise they're on the same par. Terrace is a little bit better, but that's what separates the two of them.
Yeah, the proof that statistics lie is that Zuby and Terrace had the same number of turnovers tonight. They only had 2.
Wow.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think
what he lacked in turnovers, he made up for and missed bunnies early on. But I'm trying to pull it back because it isn't just on Terrace. Like tonight's on.
I don't even know if it's on anybody. I think it's on St. John's, who just kicked the fucking stuffing out of us tonight and executed everything the way they wanted to. And there's nights where you're the hammer, and there's nights where you're the nail. And, you know, look, I think there's just been a lot of things that have also sort of just happened the last couple of years that, I mean, I think make things different. I don't want to get into this like existential, like long-term, like long-range view of the program, right? But, you know, look, coaches have been jerking off to our playbook for 3 years now. Literally. I mean, it is just
literally?
Literally. It's every other YouTube channel. It's every other book highlight. Like these guys have been, I mean, we won back-to-back national championships. Like we run some incredible shit. And I don't think anybody's got more familiarity with what we're doing than everybody else at this point. It's hard to not notice it. And so I think there's going to be some things that get slowed down. And also, like, you know, it's every team has different needs, you know, and you can get what you can get in the portal. And I think, you know, you don't really know what you got until you put the team on the floor and you see how things continue to develop. And like, in theory, they really solved heading into the season a lot of their problems from last year. They had guard depth, right? They got size back at the point guard position. They got better perimeter defenders, you know, and like they're better in a lot of ways than they were last year. And then you have a bunch of guys I think improved. You know, did they improve to the point that, you know, it gets them into that like slam dunk national title contender picture? I don't know, right? But like that's kind of part of it. It's like it's just I want to you know, there's just been a lot of things that are kind of going on in the periphery, and they're going to have to make some adjustments, you know, and I'd like to see, you know, I'd like to see them get, you know, like to see Dan maybe kind of go back to Dan recruiting some like Dan guys, you know, some more like this. I've said it all year. This team just doesn't have a motherfucker. Like this is a great group of kids, and that's kind of the problem. Like they just need, you know, a guy
Dylan Darling.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Darling type. I mean, every really, really good team has. I mean, and we could talk about Cam Spencer and Andre Jackson and all that. That guy's not walking through the door right now, but like that's just kind of, you know, this team just kind of hasn't had that edge. And you know, I think there's some other issues too. Like they're going to have to start to, I think, really give more careful consideration to how they're recruiting guards and how they evaluate them. You know, it's like when they hit them, they really hit, and when they whiff, it's bad, and it's caused issues in all but 2 seasons. Of course, the 2 seasons I won a national title, but like, you know, the 22 team kind of got sunk by a lack of guard depth. Last year's team was kind of dead out of the gate because of a lack of guard depth, and this team's slowing down because of a lack of guard depth and guys that can like really shot create. And there's a lot that goes into that, right? So, I mean, obviously there's things you're going to have to go back to the drawing board on, and Dan's going to have to get a little bit more introspective. I would think every coach in the
I just feel like, to me, it's our bench. Like, to me, like, you talk about, like you're 100% right about, like, the guard depth. It's just, like, they can't, like, Caravan played 40 minutes against Seton Hall. Like, that's not sustainable. Like, you need a guy to come in and hit a few shots when you're down. Like, you think about St. John's. They every single guy they put in tonight was exponential. They had a guy to hit a 3 if you needed it off the bench. They had a guy to grab rebounds. They had what's the dude?
They didn't make a single 3 from somebody who came off their bench. In fact, their bench was 0 for 7 from 3.
Damn.
I mean, yeah. It's, I mean, it's, you know, it just is what it is. Like they've got some things on this long range. They kicked our out of us tonight.
They kicked our ass, and I mean, it is what it just to me. It's more just like I hope my internal hope is that UConn takes this loss and finds out what's wrong and looks at themselves. Like, I hate to keep bringing back on it, but it's like after that 24 loss to Creighton, Dan Hurley said, the way programs respond to losses like this is the ones who become champions. I hope they have a response like that to this loss where even if it's the 15 seed, even if it's UMBC, they say, you know what, we're pissed off. F you, let's go out there and dominate. That's just my thing is like you kind of have to have that guy. Maybe like the one guy who can be that motherfucker if he really needs to be, to me on this team, is Ball. Because Ball was on that 2014, learned from that religion. He can, when he really needs to be that. And I need him I hope he can step up like that in the tournament.
Solo played 1 minute in the Final Four on that team.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like at least he was on that team. He was there. Like I'm not saying like he's still not a perfect like fuck you get in your face guy. But if he needs to be, like he can. Like we've seen him last year when he hit that big shot against Baylor. He was getting fired up. He was getting there, and that's not. I know that's not much, but that's all this team has, and that's what this team can lean on. Like I'm just trying to find slivers because I just don't have too much confidence in this team, and I'm just trying to find something to like get this team to where they need to go. It's just if the threes aren't falling, it's just like we just keep going back to them, and I get it, like, but it's just it's going to be a short tournament if they're shooting 3 of 19 and 3 of 22 from three. Like even if the good thing is law of averages are on our side, I guess. I mean they got to fall eventually, but it's just I don't know, it's just tough. I mean I figured that this would happen after St. John's only scored 41. I mean they were destined to get us. It's just like we just gotta take it in and just see where we can go from here because it's just it's rough.
Thank you, Toasty.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate that, Toasty. All right, gotta move it along here over to let's go to Chris Akerson, man. What do you got for us, brother?
Hey, yeah, first time, long time. I guess my biggest question is on Caravan. Is it time to have an uncomfortable conversation about him? Should he be playing 40 minutes every game? He just looks slow, isn't making shots, isn't moving around that well. I'm worried about Alex. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. The biggest problem with it, and we've been worried about like minutes for Alex and for Silas, is like I have no idea who else you play in his spot. There's no other. I mean, Jaden a little bit, but there is no double big. Sure, you think you're going to bust that out for the first time all year in the NCAA tournament? Oh boy, you've got bigger balls than me if you're going to do that. And Dan talked about it, but like that's it. The only other option is to go double big, and that would. I mean, they haven't changed the starting lineup all year.
It's not. I think it just speaks to the problem though that they've had with this team where. At the guard position, like there are long stretches where Malachi Smith is unplayable. There are long stretches where like Stewie just has not taken that step forward to be dependable. Everybody's like, oh, how come he's not playing Jaden Ross more? Well, kind of until the last 3 weeks, like Jaden's kind of been inconsistent too, and so like what coaches value more than anything, and I just keep coming back to this, is predictability. They just want to know. I mean, the New England Patriots, it was their motto for years, right? Like, do your job. Like, this is what you're responsible for. This is what I need you to execute. And when they don't execute, like, you don't trust them, you can't play them. But it creates this, like, cascading effect where, like, you're just creating a time bomb. Like, I'm not a big load management guy. I think that shit is, like, grotesquely overstated in basketball. But like there is an element of load management that comes into play here, and we've ground Silas into dust. We're grinding Alex into dust. I think the other thing with Alex is he's just like not a dynamic athlete. He's just not a guy with the kind of skill. He's just not I'm going to go out and take over the game kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he's just not that. I'm not mad about that. I don't expect him to be that. Everybody knows the deal with Alex. Alex doesn't know anybody fucking shit here. But, there's also a limit to what he can do, and him playing 38, 40 minutes a game isn't ideal. But, like, the other piece of this is, and this is where it gets tough to, like, make the math work if you're Dan, like, this team turns the ball over so much. It loses its mind in its own offense so much. And, like, people forget just how much of the wiring of this offense is actually in Alex Caravan's brain that makes this work. So you can take Alex off the floor and like watch the shit short circuit, like it's whack-a-mole, and so I think that's been, kind of the crux for a lot of the inconsistency this year is like guys like Jalen I think it's snapped into place for Jaden. I think Jaden's like good to go right now. Like Jalen, I think they really, Jaden's more of a wing, Jalen is more of a 4/3 who can kind of switch 3 through 5 with guys, right? And, obviously he's been hurt the last couple of weeks, but then, not having his size and not having him find any kind of level of consistency off the bench. That's been a problem too, man, and so the depth issues have caused issues. They do for every like normally good team. And, I think it's easy to get on Dan about this stuff, but like if I was sitting in his shoes, like, I don't know, man. I don't know who I'm playing for Alex right now. Like, I don't know how comfortable. I'm never comfortable when Mally comes on the floor because I don't know what it's going to be. It's really hard to give like any one guy the ball and be like, dude, look and go to work. Braylon's not physical enough to do that. And like his decision making is not great. And then we've covered Terrace a million times. So they're a flawed team and it's whack-a-mole. It's a hard situation to manage. I don't know what I would do in Dan's shoes with it either. But, you're not wrong. Playing 40 minutes a game is bad. Playing 35 minutes a game as a point guard plus every game is bad. It's not good.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. But the problem with the Alex side of it is there is no other option here to play that position. Like Jaden, I hope we see Jaden Stewart again this year, but I don't know. Like they're hopeful he can be back. They said this week for the first round of the NCAA tournament after 2 weeks ago telling us this is a minor thing. And then it's, well, no, he had a procedure. But even if Jaden's back, which is great, I mean, Jalen's back rather, how many minutes can Jalen Stewart play coming off of a procedure? That's not going to be a lot. So the thing about the Alex thing is, I mean, he's got to play. And it's hard for him because so much of his game and his shot is based off of the lift he gets. And you can just see he's not getting it. Because I think he's exhausted and he has a right to be. And he's a wonderful player, but he's a human being. So yeah, 30 minutes against Xavier, 35 minutes last night. Tonight goes out and plays 37 against a team that is hitting you with, and like, it's not Seton Hall where it's literally hammers, but a really difficult physical matchup on a third night of a back-to-back-to-back is a lot to ask of a kid who has currently no backup at his position available. That doesn't require playing a drastically different look on the. Dan talked before the Big East tournament about maybe they'll have to go double bigs. Well, they never ran it once. So, I mean, they had 3 games in 3 days, didn't even try it once. 2 of them against dog shit teams. So I don't think he's going to suddenly bust it out against Kentucky with 5 minutes to go a week from tomorrow. Call me crazy. But yeah, it's a tough spot for him. He's a legendary player, but we have, in a way, the roster has let him down here, has let Alex down here, that he shouldn't have to do all this. But we are where we are. And this team, if Terrace is unreliable on the inside and they don't have a good 3-point shooting night, or they have a bad one, we're going to mid-game it to death. I don't love that, hot balls, but if you're not hitting threes and you're not hitting the layups, your season's ending. Like, there's not a fucking magic bullet here that they're going to suddenly pull this out and like Braylon's going to hit 12 middies like he's AZ Fudd. It ain't going to happen.
Well, maybe he does.
So that's also part of the problem when you build the team around like 3-point shooting, and it's modern and pace and space, and I'm on board with it. But like in the NBA, when a team has a shitty shooting night from 3, nobody cares. You have 82 regular season games. In the playoffs, they do it way less. If UConn has a shitty shooting night next week, the season's over. Like, it's different. I get wanting to be like an NBA style, but it ain't the same sport. And it goes to what you said. I would like them to just, can we going forward reel this in a little bit? And the guard recruiting's been an issue. Like, let's be honest. UConn shouldn't have to go get 2 point guards in the portal because they have none on the roster. And I thought they did a great job with Silas. Malachi has been hit or miss. I actually thought tonight for a little while he was fine, and then it wasn't fine. But
He's just really easy to disrupt. You got to. That's a whole other discussion. But I want to keep the line moving here. Funky Fresh, you've been patient. We're going to go to you next, and we're going to Hanny Durley, Connor, and then we've got a couple guys in the request line right now. Just sit tight, guys. We'll get to you here in a second.
What's up, boys? How you doing?
How are you?
Good, dudes. Yeah, tough loss. I think we can all agree. The problem for me with this team is like the expectations were just like so high from the beginning, and then they like met those expectations, and then they just got worse every month as the year has gone on. I think we can all agree. Um, you know, if you break down all the positions, you guys have been nailing on some points here. Mally's hit or miss. We don't have anyone who could really dribble the ball that well. Like no one's like a great dribbler. No one's can like you feel confident when they have the ball. Like they like, elite pressures, they're just not going to lose it under that, right? We don't again no alley hoops. We haven't had a solid alley hoop. I know Terrace had one today. I think he's like 1 for 20 on the season. Like nobody like that's a huge part of the offense that just breaks people down. Just the ability to get above the rim and like there's no one's got the hand-eye coordination or even confidence to get up there and do it. Then when you go through the positions, I mean, I've been saying this all year. Having Solo and Mullins out there at the same time, it's a liability, especially if they're not making threes. Or then it's a liability. They're the same person. We need, hopefully, again, it's easy to say that I'm, out loud, but with like Jaden's emerging, so I think that he should be playing more. It obviously wasn't always like that, but like it just adds like a defensive and like a toughness element that neither of the other two guys really bring. And then Carabin just has like cement in his shoes. He's like the slowest person. I knew today we were in trouble. I don't know if you guys remember this. Bryce Hopkins goes for three. He's in like the left corner if you're watching it on the screen. And it's like a real slow wind up. And I'm like waiting for Alex to put his hand up. I'm like, dude, Alex, you're right in front of him. Put your hand up. Doesn't put the hand up, drains it. They have all this momentum already. But it was just something that you're like, what is going on? What do we have? How many turnovers? Like, this is
19.
like,
19
what are we
today.
doing with the turnovers? And then Reed, I don't know, you guys have had to see this too. Reed, he's like Zoolander. He can't go left. He's just like, he can't go left. Every time he's backing it down, like Zuby's leaving the entire other side of the court open. If he has a little spin move, a little something in his tool bag, right? Like it's every time. And you just know he's pounding it in. He's going as hard as he can, bulldozing to the right. And sometimes he's a dog and he gets it. Sometimes he's, like a gummy bear and he like doesn't know what's happening. He's like a grizzly or gummy bear. You never know what you're going to get. This is just, and, at least last season, like we kind of saw the team, like they had those 3 days in Maui. You're like, oh, all right, set expectations a little bit, right? And then, they kind of more or less, I think they ended the season with some honor, played our best game of the season. Like I was in the airport in Nashville, like going nuts.
Last year's team got better
They
over the
just got
course of the
better.
year.
You know what I mean?
They got better.
And they ended
Yeah,
it
much
with their
better.
best
They played their
game.
best
I think we
basketball
can all
at the
agree
end of the
that was
Which is all
probably
you
the
want.
best they looked. I mean, Clayton was sick. We had a couple of couldn't get offensive rebounds, whatever. But this year, it's like, when Mullins was out, I think the team flowed a little better. I'm not saying it's Mullins' fault, but I'm just saying that we looked better. And I think a little bit has to do with like, again, back to my original point, Mullins and Solo, they're just like they're same guy, So like they're kind of hurting each other. I'm not the only person to say this, but they're kind of hurting each other. And like, again, we haven't, guys, it's like 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 games. Like, what's our 3-point percentage as a team? And we're just hucking them and hucking them and hucking them. And like, you have no confidence in anybody that they're going to make it. Braylon's rushing it. I don't think he should go pro. I hope he's got some people in his ear just like, dude, like it's the best draft class in the last 20 years. You might want to wait a year, you'll make more money literally if things go your way and you play a little better. But yeah, that's kind of the vibes. Now, again, I don't want to say it's all doom and gloom. I mean, they could string together a few games. Like we're not going to see St. John's again. But they obviously are just more physical than us, right? They have that. They really like the guards are bigger. They're bigger everywhere and a little bit smarter. I think we have like a lot of immature turnovers. Dan said it. He knows it. We all see it. Just like, what was that? Like Solo, who you throwing the ball to? It's happened a few times tonight. But they also do have the talent. Like we have seen them shoot lights out. You never know. I'm not feeling confident in it, but like you never know. I think we should get by the first round, second round. I think there'd be a popular upset pick to other people, but I think, we could get to the Sweet 16, and then from there you never know what happens. But that's kind of my thoughts.
Thank you.
Yeah, you give yourself a shot, and thank you, Funky Fresh. And yeah, everyone get ready for tomorrow. UConn's going to be the pick everyone has that doesn't want to do chalk in their brackets to lose. So let that fuel you. Maybe this will fuel them. I know that Joe Lenardi had said it
Maybe
in the
this will
preseason
work
because he was just trying to throw a dart at something, and now he looks really smart because they're going to be a popular pick. On the Braylon thing, like I'd love him back, but I think it's insane I know people are going to, it's insane for people to say somebody who was projected as a lottery pick in this strong of a draft should simply put aside the $15 million guarantee and just come back and everything will automatically get better. Will it? I think if he has a lottery grade, he should go. And I know we don't like that and people think he's not ready and they point at the Liam thing. Liam got a guaranteed contract for a lot of money.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not going to tell people how to live their life. I'd love him to come back. I think he has a lot to work on, but if he's got a lottery grade, he would be irresponsible to come back. It would be irresponsible. Yes, in this loaded draft class, next year's draft class sucks. We could run him you could walk into a bus tomorrow.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, do you want this thing to
I can't ask somebody else to walk away from $16 million because, well, it'll get better. Like would you walk away from it?
Well,
I don't think anybody's saying he should come back, turn down the money that he will have offered.
And look, it doesn't matter that he's smaller. Like, you're going to want to work out with an NBA strength and conditioning team. They will get him bigger and stronger.
Yes.
They're not worried about the fact that he's ready now, guys. They're worried about like what they think they can turn him into in the next 3 to 5 years. Like that's the hope and the dream, right? And when you're a professional organization. So they're evaluating guys on that. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. 16 million reasons why you want to sit there or whatever. And it just doesn't, that's going to be his decision. Right. And maybe he decides to stay in college and doesn't come back here.
Yeah.
So like there's so many moving. I'm just not worried about, all of those things. So yeah, it would suck, but like, that's the it's the era that we live in. So, I just, it is what it is. This team's just got a lot of holes right now. I'm more worried about the second round, I think, than I would be about the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. That's just not even a joke. I think this team's way more susceptible to 7-10 seed right now than they are.
Listen, if a week from today they go out and they beat that 7-10 seed, I'm going to feel fantastic. I'm going to be right on board. I'm like, we're ready.
I actually really think because 2 through 5 line is like really fungible this year. I think there's a lot of teams that like, Texas Tech has just got unbelievable injury issues right now. You've got a lot of teams with big holes on those in that range of seeds. So I don't know, man. It's just going to depend on the grade.
Yeah, we're all just going to have to ride the lightning, and that's what this time of year is about. And I know why people are doing it, but like we got to stop comparing anything to the 2014 guys. You're not seeing it. You're not going to see that again. And if it's because you're sad that you didn't go to that Final Four or that Big East tournament and you missed out, you did. That ain't coming. That kind of team, team.
That's not real life.
That's once every 40 years. That if you make that your like expectation, you're gonna be really pissed off a lot. Can they be a really solid team? They can still be a Final Four team. It's hard to see it right now, but if they get through the first weekend and they face off against really good teams in an odd way, I'm going to feel
funny. I don't think it's a hard thing to see. That's what's so frustrating about it. You just don't know. So I've said it a billion times. If you painted 20 different scenarios and made them each individual scenario for this team as wacky as possible, I would totally buy into it.
Yes.
If we went out and got rinsed by Merrimack in the first round, sign me up. I'm in. If they went in and then just decided to 20-piece 4 teams and then lose by 80 in the Final Four, sign me up. I'm in. I would. There's no story you could tell me about this team that I would not believe. So, it's ride the lightning. It's anybody's tournament. Like, couple number 1 seeds get upset and it gets really really weird and interesting. Like, who knows, man? I've seen crazier shit happen before, but.
By the way, I'm just going to put it down now because it's I think they're going to play Siena on Friday. I think that's who they're going to
Jerry McNamara.
Yep. We all get to go through that shit. So look at that. And,
what if Jerry McNamara beats us and then gets the Syracuse job and they fade into oblivion?
which is what will happen if Jerry McNamara gets that job. That'd be a really weird way to. That'd be a weird way to win the war. I don't think we need to lose that battle to win that war. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the range of outcomes is so is so drastic with these guys, man. It's wild because I can't figure. Nobody on here can figure them out. That's why it's confusing. It's been a good, like, UConn's 29-5, right? These are champagne problems to some degree, but UConn's also operating at the level of the sport where the margins are fine, where you've got to find solutions, and they haven't found them consistently. But I'm also, this really is a one game at a time too.
Oh yeah.
It's Friday. Let's do Friday. Sunday. Let's do Sunday. Tomorrow the bracket's going to come out and we're going to analyze it. We're going to do a show tomorrow night and all that. But
I don't know.
It's going to be we're going to do it. It's going to be really hard for me to look at UConn's possible Elite Eight opponents. It's going to be
yeah.
I don't know.
Win the next one.
Let's
fucking win the next one.
We're gonna do a show tomorrow night for everyone, and we're gonna break down the 3 regions UConn isn't in, because I don't know. The UConn region could be anything.
Who knows, man? Handy Durley, you've been a good boy. You're up next, and then we're gonna get to Connor Rushing after that. So, Handy Durley, what do you got for us, brother?
Yeah, man. I want to give a big shout out to Funky Fresh. I was listening in there, and he made some points that were fucking spot on. And I think, who I was watching earlier, and I was like, holy shit, this guy, this is what we need. We need a Bud Clark, little Seton Hall Bud Clark guy. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, we need someone when the Euro offense and the Luke Murray offense is not working. We need a guy to go get his own. And, Tristan kind of bailed us out in the past. And, there's been players where you could rely on, like a Cam Spencer. You can see it now. And I understand your point saying, like, oh yeah, don't look for that 2014 again. It was rare, right? And the talent level of that team is very hard to come by, and we were spoiled to watch him, and I agree with that. But at some point, we know Caravan's, we love him. He's not the guy to go, ISO ball, make it happen. Silas, he can drive, he can take it to the paint. I think as the season's gone on, we've seen him explore that a little more, but at the same time, I think he's looking elsewhere. Still a dog, love him. And Solo's, he, first off, loves solo ball, but either the midi or he's taken, he'll drive here and there. Usually off a backdoor cut, a little slip screen. But what we're really missing, I think, is one of those, even think of the Rodney Purvises. Holy shit. You know what I'm talking about? One of those guys, just one of those guys where hand him the ball. Offense isn't working right now. We've, set 20 screens in the paint and Zuby's catching everything. And we need to hand the ball off here. We need our guy to go get a bucket. And I think that's the story of this year. These guys are all talented in their roles. I love them all and they're great. They played, listen, record stands, right? But at the end of the day, it's the talent level is just they're all so caught up in the offense and where they're supposed to be. And, it makes them a little uncomfortable. So, at the end of the day, you need a guy that can go out and fucking ball. Score for us. And I think that's what they're lacking. And I think this team could go far, or they could, like we've been saying, we'll see what happens. But that's just my point. And Funky Fresh, you were great. Toasty earlier. Big shout out to you. You guys made some great points, and I'm hoping for the best, and I'm here for it. But tonight was very disappointing, as we can all agree.
Yeah, it stinks. It sucks losing big games. It is what it is. Thank you, Handy Darley. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, I'll disagree on the Purvis thing because this team can step on the sideline on their own pretty good without needing to.
Hey,
But-
Hurley Mania, you called you were saying Jaden Stewart for the first half of the show. So you were watching too much hockey today, brother.
Yeah, he did.
I was too much. That was fun.
Hurley
I
Mania's
enjoyed
got to
that.
say about him.
You know it's bad when Mike Kavanaugh's team looks better in a big game than Dan says. Jesus, that's a bad place to be. But no, the thing about the thing about Rodney, this team, it's with the 3-point thing. Who's the guy that can put his head down and fucking drive the ball? They didn't have it last year, really, and they have it even less this year.
McNeely could do it last year, but like he was hurt.
Right. That's the thing. Well, he's not here now.
Oh man,
so
that would have been a nice one to have this year.
They don't have the ability.
That would have been a really nice one to have this year.
Well, you know who thinks that, by the way? Probably Liam McNeely at this point. Who would have thought that actually the Charlotte Hornets are actually a functional organization now, and they still fucked him up, which is really a kick in the pants. But I'm like nobody thought he was falling to 30. Everyone's gonna. I'm already dreading the spaces when people are making the Braylon case and comparing it to Liam, who fell 15 spots lower than any mock draft had him falling.
That's why.
But yeah, this team doesn't have anybody that can drive the lane and just go get a fucking bucket, and that's the problem with if you're going to shoot 3 for 19 from 3, and your post presence is AWOL. I would love to get a guy like that. I mean, I love watching Bud Clark. I don't think they want to design an offense around a guy like that.
No, you don't have to design the offense around him. It's just he creates. If shit is not functioning, he's going to get a bucket. A little step back. Like what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
The guy who's most willing to do it, and this isn't a good sign. The guy who's most willing to do that is actually Malachi Smith.
But he's not as consistent as Bud, though. Like you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm stating the obvious here, but
although I want to shout out one thing tonight, and I know we love him too much, probably, but when that thing started to go sideways in the first half, and it was threatening to go to 25 at the half, when they got down 16, Jaden Russ demanded the ball in the corner, shot, and made a 3.
Yeah,
I was just glad to see somebody in the moment do the fuck this. No, I want it thing. Now. Not the guy I was, maybe it's exactly the guy I was expecting, but I loved seeing that. I loved what I saw out of Jaden tonight a lot. He was willing to be assertive.
Yeah. Just need a guy.
I just wish they would use him more at this point.
You just need a guy who wants to go out there and put his dick in the mashed potatoes.
Beautifully said. I'm looking at the Hoop Explorer splits again, and that's without this game priced in, and I cannot believe the starting lineup is still what it is. Let me rephrase that. The lineup that has played 4 times as many possessions as any other lineup, which is currently a negative defensive lineup. Before tonight.
It's wild. It's wild.
I'm like with you. I get the idea of the team, but man,
we gotta stop reprising, man. You can only accept Beaker so much, man. It is not going to come out the way you want it to, but what are you gonna do?
It's kind of the problem. This sound weird. The problem with only having 4 regular season losses, they never really got blasted at one point to make them think they have to change everything. They just kept winning, and we kept doing our spaces going, I don't know, but they kept winning. If they had just gotten their doors rocked by Villanova or had blown the OT home game, I mean, they didn't win the league anyway, right? They might have been in a better place because they would have changed some stuff. But the most important thing that happens right now is Silas's injury. I mean, we're wasting time on the show when we do it every time anyway.
Yeah. Oh, no. Totally.
Prayer circle for Silas. If you want to get an Etsy witch involved, you need the opposite of that for Silas's ankle, please.
May have to get him some cybernetic implants. He needs to play. With a leg or not leg. I don't care. Handy Darley, thank you very much. Going to move along to, we got Connor Russian coming in next. Fitz, you've been very patient. We're going to get to you after that. And then, I think Saul, is waiting in the wings in the request thing. I'll get you in here in a second. But yeah, Connor, go for it, man. What do you got for us?
Not to beat a dead horse, but I was also wondering a little bit about, the space has talked a lot about the not putting Braylon and Solo out there at the same time.
Yes.
I was just of how effective he was against Georgetown. Kind of curious that the starting five was still the starting five tonight. But then I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. But then they got punched in the mouth. Like that first 10 minutes was like basically a humiliation ritual or whatever. As you would say, like my cortisol levels were spiked. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And then
really frame mogged tonight for sure.
we were getting, just body maxed everywhere. It was insane.
Frat leader.
Yeah, frame mogged us.
Which is one thing. But then I don't know if you got as mad about this as I did, but then the fact that it was like, okay, we finally got the fact that we were only losing by 13 at halftime was like a fucking miracle in my opinion. But then the fact you come out the second half and it's like, oh, we're running back the starting five. And I know they had that first, like, I don't know, like 4.5, 5 minutes. It was good. And then he kept them out there again after the under 16 and Ross still wasn't back out there. And I'm like, have we learned nothing? Like that, especially the second half, the fact that that was the five again, just really, I understand that Mullins is Mullins. I love him. He made some boneheaded mistakes today. It's whatever. He was a god yesterday. But Solo, listen, I love Solo as much as everyone else. Actually, maybe I don't. But I just, if he's not shooting, like, what is he doing? And I don't know. I just thought we learned some of these lessons already. And I was a little bit confused, especially to begin the second half where it's like against these guys where as much as we love them, like those guys on the wing, Mullins and Solo just do not like this team has our number and can match up with us on the wing and locked us down there so bad. And it's like still like, Ross isn't out there. I know Stewart isn't there, which kind of sucks for a game like this, but I don't know. That just had me scratching my head a little bit.
Yeah, they're just not going to make wholesale changes to a starting lineup like in the middle of a conference tournament. I'm with you. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Like that, I think has been the secret sauce all year is separating Braylon and Solo. Again, it's a lot less has to do with criticizing either one of them. It's just I feel like it's been better for everybody when they've been able to get one of those two off the court, put Jaden Ross in the game, and like those guys can create. They seem a little bit more confident and assertive in the offense. And they just haven't. I don't know why. If I had an answer to that, I would think that the coaching staff had an answer to that. They just have not done that. But like, again, and I keep saying this, like, man, the bench, a lot of these guys, like they haven't given Dan like enough consistently at all times to like really justify that either. I mean, there's been some real goose eggs from Jalen Stewart this year. There's been some real goose eggs from Jaden Ross this year. And you're going to get those in time. And, maybe Dan needs to have a longer leash. I think that's like a perfectly reasonable thing to speculate about with those guys. But like I said, you're not going to find a college coach in the country that's just going to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to let you keep going out there and be like an inconsistent mess and like be cool with it. Like it's just in any sport at any level of college, like it's just not how these guys function and operate. And, I'm with you. I'd like to see it more. I just don't think we're going to.
Yeah. I think that the Georgetown game yesterday too was like one of the first times where I really felt that Ross kind of came into that like mini junior Ajax role where there was one play, I think he grabbed like, it was an offensive or defensive rebound or something. He grabbed it, kind of fumbled it. The other guy had it, but then he just stripped it from him anyways. And I was like, that's just like the weird shit that builds momentum and gets people going. And yeah, I don't know. Today was just a shit show. So I don't think that any amount of that probably would have made any difference. But anyway, hopefully Stewart is healthy for the tournament as well. Would love to see him there. And Yeah, I'm just throwing my hands up a little bit about this game.
Yeah. Again, nobody wants to do that right now. It's not how I don't feel that way, but, they just got their ass kicked tonight. There's just no,
and
around
it sucks
Sometimes
to admit that. I mean, no one wants to be like, oh
I mean,
shit, like
a
we just got
lot
shit
more to do with
rocked,
St. John's tonight than it did with us. Although we did some of the
Yes.
things that we do badly, in abundance tonight, such as turn the ball over. We also rinsed our
the
team a
turnovers
couple
were the
weeks
worst.
ago.
That was terrible.
We also rinsed them a couple weeks ago by 30. So like it is what it is. It's it's not the game that you want them to go out there and do this. But I think that had a lot more to do with St. John's tonight. Just just really being on point. I mean, they executed so well.
We got to give them the flowers, man. I know people don't like it, man. Most of the reason you're really mad about it is St. John's online people. But let's be fair, Rick had a hell of a job to get this team where it is. It's a bad roster that he has made as good as it can get. The timeout use tonight was incredible.
Right.
So good on his timeouts. The out of bounds stuff is elite. It's why I disagree with the idea of them as a long-term rival, simply because, and I'm not trying to be dark, but how long is Rick going to do this? They have the money for Mike Rapole. This will not continue when that coach is gone. There's not another one of that guy.
Yeah.
There just isn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's better than Dan. I think they're both equally elite.
I think that's why it's a really bad matchup too. The bodies they have on this team, it's like
kind of a bad matchup for each other. I
had a friend watching that hadn't really watched a lot of Big East basketball, and he was just like, okay, so one team is full of college football players, the other guys has college basketball players, and it's yeah, obviously that's going to be a bad matchup. I don't know, but okay. Last point I will say, and then whatever. I definitely was the boy who cried wolf a little bit a couple times earlier in the season against Kansas. It was oh, we won, and I was like, hey, we looked a little bit bad on some of the inbound plays. I'm not trying to dog us too much, but some of that stuff so far is just, again, it's just been emblematic of this team. It's the turnovers, and not even the forced turnovers. Oh, we just threw the ball away. We got our pocket picked for no reason. At a certain point, all this shit just picks up and it catches up to you, and it's disappointing. It's not the most surprising result for this team, which is probably the saddest part of it all, but unfortunately we've been that good, and that's what the standard has been set for. And anyway, I'm looking forward to the tournament.
It sucks. It's how are you getting punked in that game tonight, man? How are you getting punked? The team that got punked getting punked again.
That first 6 minutes again, I just cannot describe how, even on TV, how fucking brutal that was. That was, oh my God.
The just desire to force feed the terrorist thing when it wasn't working, and I got it, but it was when it's not working.
It was even weirder on TV because all the national guys and Gus and everything was oh well, the big fella down low, the two of them battling out. And it's that's not, anyone who watches is yeah, the team goes where Terrace goes a little bit, but it's also we have all these wing players who are just getting denied all the time. And all the national guys are just oh, well, it's just a battle of the centers. And it's so different than that. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah, well, Connor, the thing to give you hope is that they move now out of the league play. They move to a national tournament. You hope they can get a little more freedom on the outside.
No James Breeding, no Big East refs. No.
But I need you
different zebras.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's the whole pressure of the UConn versus St. John's thing. Well, that shit's been decided. And even though I think UConn's a better team, the fucking trophy says what it says.
And I agree with you. It's just that, you know what? The records and the trophy say something else. And that's...
Connor, they didn't win the regular season. They didn't win the tournament. It's over. It's done. You can't do anything about it. Just go fucking play.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Just go beat the team in front of you. Don't worry about the fucking online and what St. John's do. None of that shit matters. Just win
Not
today.
Saying that I think that this team is necessarily going to do it, but I will say historically, that's what this program's been the best at. It's we're the 5 seed, we're the whatever. No one thinks, and it's oh, we just turned the tables on the entire March Madness just because we felt like it. So you know what? At least we've gotten rid of the favorites this team has gotten rid of the favorite status off their back. They're freed from that now. So it's like, let's go.
You're very much so.
Let's go
They
perform.
have liberated themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year will be great in that they won't be the preseason pick to win the league, nor should they be
Yeah. It's
at
like,
this point.
just
I don't
be
even
a
know who's
mediocre
going to be
team
on
and go
St.
win it.
John's.
Because, that's what everyone thinks we do anyway. So,
I don't know who's going to be on St. John's, and I don't care. They're going to get the preseason nod, and it makes sense. It's what am I going to say? I can make a good bad faith argument, but I'm not going to waste my time on it. Just go get it. Go get it back. And here's the thing. March is a different thing. They can do great. The great stuff. There ain't nothing they can do about tonight for 364 days. Not a goddamn thing. That's why it sucks. You just have to sit there and fucking take it. And you have to take it and you have to go fix it. But right now, let's figure out the thing against other teams. That would be good. That would make me feel better.
yeah, it'd be a different thing if it was
If
like,
this team somehow gets to Indianapolis hot balls, we're going to be there like the NC State fans we saw 2 years ago. We could be down 25 to Michigan. We'll be like, fine.
I'm going to have the time of my life. I'm going to be giving Jared Thomas noogies and the nosebleed somewhere. I'm going to be eating steaks. I'm going to enjoy it this time. I don't know. I don't care. Connor, thank you very much, man. I wanted to keep the train moving here. So we're going to go to Fitz next, but then we've got Saul Petalberg after that. Nair, we're going to get to you after him. Man, they keep coming. We got some more folks in the queue. I'll get you guys in here in a second. But before we get to the fine feathered Fitz, folks, you want to talk about a Connecticut business? Nothing comes close to Martin Rollsoles since 1928. Martin Rollsoles has been feeding cranky Huskies fans, a lot of them in here tonight, all over Connecticut and beyond. Hot dogs, sausages, kielbasa's, and deli meats. They have everything we need to keep jerks like Hurley Mania fed quiet. And if they didn't threaten to pull their sponsorship over it, you had a place to frankly just leave them, but I promise we wouldn't do that to them again. That's Martin Rollsoles at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Whinerline. Fitz, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's losing their minds a little bit tonight, obviously, everything that happened. Like, Bud Clark on this team, our record's not better. Rodney Purvis on this team, our record's not better. Dahad Pettiford might be the name people are looking for there. I'd love to see that. But, like, this team needs a guy that can create. If Silas is doing that, the shooters are going to be more open. It's going to look good. If Terrace is getting open down low, they have to worry about him more. The shooters will be open. If not, it's not enough to create on their own. So it's really what we get out of Silas and Terrace, I think, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, on this team, I think, a lot of people are looking forward and being like, what do we need to go get? I mean, that's not going to be this team. You know what I mean? You're going to be building a different roster next year with different skill sets, right? Depending on who's coming back and all those things. This year, I'm with you. If Terrace is not plugged in the wall and we're not hitting threes, it is going to be a rough night. It just is what it is. It's the old Villanova thing, right? If we're hitting the threes, we are sleeping in satin sheets. If we do not hit the threes, we are sleeping in the streets. It is what it is. And we did not hit the threes tonight. We have not hit the threes particularly well the last couple of weeks. That's what you get. That's what it's going to be. But when they're hitting the threes, it is fun. I do enjoy this team's ceiling. We haven't seen as much of it as I would like to, but
that's the thing. Last year they got it in the game at Marquette where they went nuts, and it kind of warped all of our opinions of Solo, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
But this team hasn't done that yet. Really, maybe they did against one of these dog shit Big East teams. But that's the biggest hope I have is that, man, I've seen 3 of 24 and 3 of 19. Can I get 11 of 18? Can we get that, please? Isn't that that's the regression to the mean no escalators is talking about? Is it in the room with us? Is it at any point is it going to occur? Christ, they've got enough shooting. They're getting good looks. This is why it's insane, Hopples. They're open threes. Not as much tonight. They're wide open.
Yeah. That's the thing. They've created.
What's Dan supposed to do?
Well, that's the other thing. It's just I want to sit here and sort of hammer the offense, but they just don't. These are supposedly really great shooters that are not making shots. So, maybe there's a chance some of these guys are not great shooters. Like,
That's the,
you know,
I don't want to say they missed on the evaluation because that's crazy, but like, if they're not as good of a shooters as they think they are when the whole offense is rigged to them, that's going to be a problem. And you don't know that until it happens, but it's like, Braylon to some degree, I think he's just beat up from Big East season, but the solo thing has been the biggest disappointment to me of the whole thing. The solo thing's made no sense all year. I don't know if it was the wrist or if it wasn't the wrist, but then he was he was really good against Xavier, but also that's Xavier. They don't know what they're doing on defense at all. It's wild. At least the NCAA tournament gives them a chance for this hard reset. You got to have that hope that they can just flush all this shit, take 5 days off, and with the highest pressure situation they have in terms of the season, but also it's none of this stuff. None of these refs, none of the opponents, the physicality. Dan has talked about this being a better team out of the conference than in the conference. Well,
we will see.
I hope so. Based on tonight, I hope so.
We will see.
Dan quote post game from David Borges. I didn't crush them in there. I think he said, referring to the locker room. They're crushed. The group is crushed. We laid an egg in something that we desperately wanted to win. I mean, we just laid an egg. Unquote. How do they, if they're desperate to win it, how do they lay that egg? I know they want it to win.
I don't want to get into the desire thing.
I'm not going to do the psychology thing, but it's the sort of quote that will drive everyone.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. Like this, I mean, they've done it so many times. There's just no way anybody can be surprised by it. There is, they're not, this is an intense group of dudes, and they didn't come out of the gate the way that they wanted to tonight. And the fact of the matter is that St. John's came out ready to play at a level tonight we were not going to be able to hit. It just is what it is. I mean, they beat the fucking shit out of us, and it happens. We did the same thing to them 3 weeks ago. Like, I just don't want to get that lost in the sauce about it. Like, these guys want to win, and I think they want to win, but they have a really hard. My major criticism of this group is it's just grumpy old man bullshit, man. I am so tired of the. I'm sorry these guys are crushed, man. I'm sorry this shit keeps happening to them, but like, there's just a point where it doesn't matter who your coach is. It doesn't matter who you have around you. It doesn't matter what your recruiting ranking was. Like, you can pull your stupid little laminated library card out that your travel ball oaf gave to you to get you out of jail free with your college coach and read it off. Like, you have to actually internalize that, and then you have to do something about it. And they haven't. I mean, there's just enough guys on this team right now that have not made progress that, look, the responsibility for the coaching staff maybe is less in like their inability to develop these guys and more in their initial evaluation of these guys. That's where you can blame them. Because if these guys, I mean, it's hard for me to entirely lay it at the feet of Dan with this crew. This is just an intensely flawed group of basketball players that have really struggled to find consistency. But I'm going to make the hot take. This is a flawed roster. Just is. We don't have enough guys that can kind of create off the bounce. I think there's a lack of physicality on this roster. And some of that comes from a lack of development and guys like just not making that step forward. And they haven't made that step forward. Like, how much better is Jalen Stewart this year than he was a year ago? Right? Like, how much better is Solo Ball this year than he was a year ago? Right? Like, how much better is Terrace Reed this year than he was last year? I think they're all better. But they didn't take the jump that I think that they had hoped that they would take. Like, you go back to the 23 team and you see the jump that those guys all made coming off of 22, the jump that Andre made, the jump that Jordan made, right? All of these guys. The jump that Sonogo made. And Sonogo was fucking awesome in 2022. and that developmental jump just hasn't happened with this core group. And then, I also just think there's something to be said with and I'm sorry to beat the dead horse again, but you just get certain cores for a stretch of 3 to 5 years of players it's just a flawed core. Purdue's dealing with it right now. That's just not a group that can defend. They can fill it up. That team offensively is impressive from the perimeter, that ability to dribble drive. I like them offensively better than I like the Zach Edey team. They are a dynamic offensive group. They are not strong enough, physical enough, and athletic enough to defend teams that have men. And you just see it happen time after time after time after time with them. They just don't have that. And I think the core of this group right now is flawed. It's a flawed core. And that's not the end of the world. You can supplement and mask and cover up issues. But at the core of, I think, what the issue is here with this team is that guys that you needed to take a big step forward for us to be that team haven't done that. Maybe that is Dan's fault. I don't think that's an unreasonable take, right? Maybe it's in the evaluation, but a lot of it's the guys themselves too. At some point, the players got to be able to pull their pants up and be like, man, I am sick of this shit. I have to figure it the fuck out. And it's tough. Dan was talking a little bit about the social media stuff after the game. Guys, do you want to be an athlete in 2026? You want to be a professional athlete? Better get used to seeing some shitty stuff about yourself on social media. Sorry. But it's tough for these guys because they grow up in high school and that's where they go seek affirmation. They're at their academy kicking the shit out of some fucking defenseless 14-year-old or whatever. And they're posting their too tough shit and their commitment posts. And, all their friends are, tweeting emojis and fucking sucking them off. And that's where they go to affirmation. Then you get to college and you get to a high level program or you go to the pros. You don't produce, that's where you're going to get shit on. That's hard for a lot of guys to manage, but just in the modern setting, you got to fucking pull your pants up, man. Grow up. I don't know what else to say. Not to say that a lot of things people say on social is appropriate or cool this fan base has got a fucking ton of ding dongs on it. I saw some shit on the timeline today that was gross. But really, really, really fucking. I'm not going to get into all of it.
Towards UConn and
I'm not going to get into all that, but and that's not fair, and that shouldn't happen. But dude, that's going to be whether you're playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, the UConn Huskies, the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers. You better get used to seeing it and learn how to deal with it because it's just part of it. So.
It's the same shit everybody else's teams do.
Everybody else does it.
It's not like social media critiques a UConn specific thing.
Fucking
how do you think the Kentucky players have dealt with this shit this year? Can you imagine?
It's not even so. At the end of the day, there just becomes a point where, and look, this is part of the weeding out process in college athletics. So it weeds the pros out from the Joes, man. It's the guys that can take that next step. And they find out how to do it. There's just very few guys that go, I say this ad nauseum on this show, Americans have this intensely warped top down view of college athletics and how this shit works. And, instantly every year it's talking about Darren Peterson and AJ DeBansa and Darius Acuff and these tip top freshmen that are going to go top 5 in the lottery and 95, 98%, 99% of high school freshmen, college freshmen rather, coming into college basketball. They are seriously flawed players that have a lot of work that has to happen. And you really get outside the top 10, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And you got to figure out how to get yourself to that next level. You got to show people at a point. And this crew, there's been a lot of stalled development with some guys and they got some shit to figure out. I made some mistakes and some evaluations, and I think the coaching staff needs to start thinking about things. I think they need to stop re-recruiting the 23 and the 24 team. that worked those 2 years, but like that's chasing a unicorn. You know, but at the end of the day, like they have their issues to fix, but like it comes down to players, man. Those guys gotta make a decision. I know they care. I know. I don't think they're full of shit. I don't think they're assholes. I don't think they're weak. But they're the only ones that at a point can fix their own problems for themselves. So, you know, and that's just what hasn't happened with this group. We saw the big jump with certain guys from, 22 to 23 and 23 to 24 and made big, improvements there. And this crew has just not been able to like make that. They've made progress. They're not getting, I don't think they're worse. I really don't. The results haven't been as good as people want them to be. Like, I don't think they're substantially worse, but they're a flawed group. And it is what it is. That's enough of my yapping. All right, I'm going to move on down the line here.
Sure.
We got Saul next. Saul, how are you?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I truly I wasn't even going to call in tonight until I saw Hurley Mania toss me a retweet to what I was watching. Hot Balls, when you say garbage on the timeline tonight, clearly you don't mean my updating the good people what my YouTube algorithm tonight, which is
that was a very hot balls algorithm. That
which is what the last 24 hours of death row prisoners look like. That's what I have interrupted my nightly programming to come and talk to you guys with absolutely no reason or understanding of why I'm calling in.
Fair enough.
You have no idea. You're just voting present. I'm here.
Yeah, it's, I'm not at all.
So you want to be seen. You need to be.
I need to be validated for my presence on this app because I have not called in nearly enough this year.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that you're here. We missed you.
Thank you, Mr. Hot Balls. But listen, dude, like
you're somewhat valued around here.
I'm not at all pissed off about this. I really don't know what to think. I said going into this weekend, I thought they were going to get to Saturday and lose. I actually turned down tickets to go tonight. One, because I have shit to do tomorrow, but two, because I thought they were going to lose and it's just a lot of money I didn't feel like spending because I went into it not feeling great. Don't feel at all good about the way they just got shit pumped, but no, it's a team that's got flaws and it's our first experience in the Hurley era of just having an average, regular, top 10 to 15-ish team.
That's a stupid thing to say, but it's true.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's like that's such a horseshit thing to say, but like the 22 team, you're still building up to shit. 23 and 4, you win it all in pretty absolutely fashion that was horrendous for us as a fan base and what our expectations might be going forward. But last year was our first year, or maybe second year if you want to count that garbage year, 2021, of having like a normal average fringe top 25 team. This is our first year of Hurley having just a solidly top 15 to top 10 team with the ceiling and the floor, which is fine. I would have killed for a season like this circa 2017, 2018. And I found out today that those seasons are vacated.
I would have killed for a season like this.
True. Yeah. I found out today that 2018 season is vacated, which is fucking hilarious to me. I do have a question.
Do we get our money refunded for those of us that were stupid enough to buy tickets? No. Funny how that works.
That's the 1 year my dad had season tickets, and I liken that to when he coached me in Little League as a kid. I was like, you were a great assistant coach, but the two teams you ever head coached me on, we finished bottom of the entire league, and it was an abomination. So I liken his season ticket holding to that. He gave a lot of tickets to me. I will ask, speaking of the 2017 team, I tuned in late. Did somebody in this fan base actually, with a straight face, suggest that this team would be better if Rodney Purvis was on it? Or did I just mishear that? That was said tonight.
I understand the idea, but of all the people...
I don't understand the idea. Rodney Purvis.
Of the Rodney Purvis skill set people, why is Rodney the one you pick?
You know what's... I went back and watched that 2015 West Virginia game where he sprained his ankle on that wide open dunk, and it's hilarious that somebody said that right after I watched it. What?
So let's get really fucked up here.
Oh god,
since this was a shitty night. What Kevin Ollie era player?
Daniel Hamilton.
would make this team, would get this team over the top. You can't say Shabazz Napier.
Daniel Hamilton.
Daniel Hamilton. It's 1,000% Daniel Hamilton.
Daniel Hamilton with a real coach is pornography.
No.
You're giving me a stretchy three that can hit threes and drive the lane and finish? Are you kidding me?
Actually, no. If you want
Is there a guy that's been on the UConn roster that's cared less about playing college basketball than Daniel Hamilton?
If you want an answer,
yeah, that is probably true, actually. Because what's his face? Jumpman exists.
The 2018 he was Jumpman Day. The 2018 team exists.
Jumpman B.I.G.
Jumpman.
Hang on, do you guys remember at the Andrea Hurley event when she like muttered under her breath, like, "I think I was the only one in the program who liked him"?
I loved him. It's not his fault they did a stupid
Quentin
thing.
Williams. There was that weird thing she did like 2 years ago at the Beecher Snow House, whatever that was. Remember, under her breath.
Quint was not on the team. Quint was not on the team when he was here.
Oh, he was. 2018-19, he got booted off before the Nova game. Look that up.
Was he on the early?
He changed his number to 22, baby.
It would have changed everything.
Shout out to Quentin with a K.
Dan was like, I am absolutely not playing this human being on a team of mine ever.
Kasim Yakwe would have been the guy that I would have.
Oh, you were a Kasim Yakwe guy?
I'm a big Yakwe guy.
It always goes back to the St. John's guys, huh? Hot balls.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to break the internet, I could say Ahmad Noel, but I'm not. No.
Ooh,
who is going to the NCAA tournament. He will be watching it, but he is going to go to the NCAA tournament.
Wow. Good leader.
I think the A10 is really weird right now. VCU.
By the way, I would have absolutely committed seppuku at the end of that Dayton St. Louis fan if I had rooting interest. That is one of the wildest endings to a basketball game I've seen. If you guys did not see it earlier today, Dayton and St. Louis just bring the madness and March Madness.
And they have to call the technical foul. They just have to. The guy tackles three guys in the middle of the court while in his warm-ups. That's why it's a rule.
Yeah.
I don't like being that guy, but Jesus, like
you are that
the guy ran 10 feet onto the court.
There's nobody that's more that guy than you. So
the best part about it was he was the only person who did it. Like nobody else from the bench ran on.
90% of your identity.
Just this one guy for Dayton just burst onto the court from the bench. And they let it go. Which, I don't think they should have, but whatever. It's fun. And now we await in happier news to see who is.
Owen Mulder says DeAndre Daniels, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. DeAndre. Yeah.
That would be a good one.
We await to see who is the last at large because the committee apparently has picked all but the last one. Do you have any idea who you think it is, Hot Balls? It can't be.
Would you say that again? Sorry, I was not paying attention.
So the selection committee, as we get
somebody on the internet,
as we get the updates. Earlier today, the update from David Warlock was that they have picked 30, all but one of the at-large teams, and so now I want to know who it is. I mean, we all do. We'll all find out at the same time, and I'm just wondering who could be the last team here on the cut line. I don't think it's Miami of Ohio. I hope it isn't. Mathematically, it's a good case.
They
but
want to do it, don't they?
It shouldn't be Miami, Ohio. I hope it's not Texas because Sean Miller doesn't want to coach this team anymore. It could be SMU, a team I actually like, but it might be them. So it'll be very interesting as we head into tomorrow.
You know who's allowed nowhere near postseason play of any kind, Hurley Mania? You know what school's allowed nowhere near any postseason tournament?
That would be the Memphis Tigers.
No. No, I'm talking about schools that the University of New Haven is allowed nowhere near any postseason tournament this year. Inshallah, Chargers. Rick Pitino is the Ayatollah. Allahu Akbar. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I can't believe UNH was ineligible for the NEC tournament, even though other teams who were ineligible for the NCAA tournament were eligible. But yeah, no, Selection Sunday here as we try and think of something a little more positive, which is basically anything else other than fucking tonight, is here. And we will have a bracket in about 18 hours. And we will have a show tomorrow night, Hot Balls. And we'll look at the whole thing.
I don't want to talk about our bracket. We're going to get Merrimack. Or
No,
Sienna.
we are not going to get. I don't believe a 2-bid MAC is in play. We're going to get Sienna. We're absolutely going to get Sienna. And if we aren't eating enough shit with the St. John's people, now we got to think about eating shit with the Syracuse people. That will not.
Jerry McNamara. That would just be. That'd be a lot for me to take. It's totally what's going to happen.
Yeah, ready. I mean, okay, so other teams in that neighborhood, before real quick, 15 seed wise, Tennessee State, Idaho, Furman. So, Queens, UMBC, I think aren't good enough to get up to the 15. Wright State, Kennesaw State, I think are too good for it. If you want a team, that I would be very scared of if somehow they fucked up and put them as a 15 would be Troy.
Yeah, Troy's good.
Please don't put
Troy's
Troy.
good.
I mean, Troy is not a 15 seed, but
they're kind of probably be a 13. I would imagine coming out of Sunbelt, they got to be like.
No, they'll be a 14. 13. They've lost a lot of games, but they did.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna break Troy down until I have to. I'm just looking at the profile. The numbers aren't great on them, but the Scott Cross is an elite coach. So.
I'd be unfortunate.
And he's also somebody Syracuse should hire over Jerry McNamara, but that's a different discussion.
Sure. Nair, what do you want?
Yeah, well, I guess, talking about things on the positive side, UConn hockey saved my mental health a little bit today.
What a fucked up sentence. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. What fucking world do we live in? We're like a football and a hockey school now. No, of course not. But like, sometimes it feels that way. Yeah, I mean, I went to that game today. I did, I couldn't swing it getting to MSG, unfortunately, but maybe fortunately. Yeah, fortunately, given the game. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I'm beating a dead horse at this point. I did watch the game. I watched it with one of my friends, and I remember before the game started, he asked me, he said, "What do you think the keys to the game are?" And, I pretty much said the obvious things. It's like, we have to shoot well. We have to avoid live ball turnovers. We have to,
I'm just, as you go through them, we have to shoot well. No. We have to avoid live ball turnovers. No. Keep going.
Yeah, and it feels like as I was watching the game, right, they just went through the list and they were like, yeah, okay, we're going to turn the ball over. We're not going to shoot well. And it happened on a night where St. John's shot better than they normally do. Like St. John's, I wouldn't call them like a terrible shooting team, but like they're certainly not they're certainly not the best shooting team out there. So the fact that they shot unusually well, given all the problems we had, and I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like you knew what kind of game this was going to be. Like 5 minutes in,
yes.
Like we looked stilted on both ends of the ball. We didn't. Nobody was making plays. People want to blame it on Terrace because they were feeding Terrace the ball, and it's like, okay, well he can't be the only thing on our offense that's doing anything. Like, people also need to shoot. It can't be just Terrace. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the counter to this. It was like they fed Terrace a lot. Oh, so we should have gone to the guys who shot 3 of 19 from 3 instead. Like, it's just a bad night from the whole group. Just group effort. Everyone was bad. And I just hope Silas is okay.
I hope so too. I mean,
Mally's played better, but not 30. Hotballs, your thoughts on 30 minutes of Malachi Smith in an NCAA tournament game?
Shoot me.
Yep. It's a big old 10-4 there.
Or it could be great. I mean, that's the other thing. There's a 1-in-4 shot that he turns into Kemba Walker for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to know.
But I really want to see is Alec Millender in an NCAA tournament game. Did I scare you well?
Why?
A little.
Why? He's ready for the moment.
He's totally ready. Everybody's ready.
Remember,
I'm ready.
Spent so much time on Jacob Purphy. Anyway.
I'm ready for another Malachi Smith 4-point play, like in the Garden last time. I know it's in him.
I actually think he might have a wild positive moment in the NCAA tournament at some point. I just do.
I think he will. I think he's a guy who, like, he's really great. He's a really great, like, in the moments player. Like, again, I don't think I'd want to see 30 minutes of Malachi Smith in the.
Oh God, no! God, are you kidding me?
But I would love to see like 5 minutes a game from him and like some really good things in those 5 minutes each.
I hope we see a cumulative 30 minutes of Malachi Smith in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And he's been great. The thing is, he's been great. Like, you look at his record, how he played against, like, non-Big East teams, like how he played against, like, Illinois is one I just brought up, but also, like, you know, Florida, Texas. Like, those, he looked great in those games. So maybe he's just not matched up well for Big East play. I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass, but, like, these are kind of things I've observed, like, watching this team this year. And, you know, needing to take heart medication after every game.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Our hearts don't last forever.
Yeah.
They all give out eventually.
Yeah. But mine is going to give out about 10 years earlier because of this team. But
okay. we all have our runs.
Yeah. It's the real fucked up thing is I'm a Broncos fan as well, so I had to watch this year's Broncos team, this year's UConn team, sometimes on the same day. So, like, I don't know. I should have taken up meditating or something. Like, it was.
That's good. Hot yoga is very good for stress release.
I've heard that. My mom does hot yoga. She keeps trying to get me to come along, but maybe I should now.
It'll make you feel better. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do. Yeah, got to take a little release for yourself. You know, you gotta have a little, gotta engage in a little self care now and then.
There have genuinely though been like some times, like throughout all my time as a UConn fan, where I'll watch a game and it's like, it's so bad I have to go outside and take a walk and I have to be like, what's going on here? You know, but
it's okay. It happens.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I had. It was I pretty much preaching to the choir here. I do think, I really do see the upside of this team. And I think that, you know, you look at 2023 and like, certainly we had a rough Big East that year. We still ended up winning the Natty. I just think there are some intangibles about this team. There's just things we need to work through. And, but I don't know. I'll be cautiously optimistic, I guess.
It's all right. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Be cautiously optimistic. I appreciate the calm there. And, on to the next. We'll be okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Have a good night.
Lick those wounds. Get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, what else? I mean, it is what it is, right? You know, didn't lose on a 73-footer here. They got their ass kicked. I'm gonna sleep way easier than I'm like mad at how easy I'm gonna sleep tonight in a way, you know, like this should piss me off and it kind of doesn't because
it doesn't piss me off. I mean,
it's healthier than it
was right. That's all that matters anymore is that I was right. I was correct.
About which thing?
And, that'll make me sleep like a baby tonight. How the game was going to go.
Oh yeah. The style. Yeah.
I was correct. I was right. Yeah. I was right, and nobody else was right. Only me, myself, and I. I'll sleep better tonight because of me.
And I'm just dreaming of Friday against Boston College at TD Garden because I don't know who UConn's playing yet. That's what's going to happen, Hot Balls. By the way, they're going to play at the same time. That's going to be really good for me.
I'm just rooting for your psychological devastation. Well,
the really good news is they're the last team, or they're the first team out, and they need to like every game is if they win the next one, they're probably going to get in, but if they don't, they aren't.
Oh,
it's like it's a straight math equation for hockey, so we know at every moment with every result if they're in or out, and it's just imagine refreshing Ken Palm, but if it determined the tournament, that's how hockey works. Not a healthy place to be. I'm just going to give you a heads up. It's bad. It's very bad.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for us.
It was a great win tonight. Great win today for them this afternoon. Tough one for the women's hockey team losing at Penn State with a chance to go to the Frozen Four, which is at Penn State, but they had a great year. So props to both the hockey teams.
Well, speaking of falling asleep, particularly at the wheel, Husky Hops is with us tonight. Husky Hops, what do you got for us tonight? Have you crashed out yet? Have you recovered? Where are we at mentally?
Fellas, I really don't understand what all the angst and the devastation and the anger is. Prairie View A&M is going dancing.
Go Panthers.
The 8th seed out of the
Love
SWAC.
it.
Go Panthers.
We love it. Love the SWAC tournament every year because the seeds don't matter. The teams are all the same. It's wonderful, Husky Hops. No, I would deflect if I were you too, knowing that the High Point Panthers are going to probably have to play this St. John's team in 4 or 5 days.
Oh my god! I was literally just saying that. I'm like, as if I haven't had enough of this stupid ass team with Dylan Darling getting ticky tack fouls just let go and Zuby Ejiofor dunking all over my stupid chud face. Like now I have to see them knock out my alma mater too. It's gonna happen.
What are your thoughts on Yusuf handling Zuby? Is that we think that's going to be a positive experience?
5 fouls in 29 seconds.
That's right. That's why you're here.
Did you see actually Yusuf got a T in the Big South Championship game because when Winthrop's star center, the player of the year in the Big South, picked up his 4th foul, Yusuf went over to grab the ball from him and he got teed up for it. It was excellent. I'm going to clip it down below. Hold on.
Please do. I did not see that.
Oh, it's so good.
Tremendous.
All right, here we go. I got it. But yeah, it was tremendous. Yeah, Yusuf, just doing his thing. He's got 5 fouls to give, as we used to say. There you go. Right there at the bottom. But Yusuf had a time at the Big South tournament. He's out throwing out sunglasses to the fans, giving shout outs to UConn Nation, the whole bit. And there he is, the clip down below. He's just, guy goes down, gets called for an offensive foul. Yusuf walks over and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to take that ball now. And he gets teed up for it. And then the guy in Winthrop gets teed up too. It's just magnificent.
Yeah. Oh. The best. We'll lick our wounds. I think we'll be in a better place tomorrow. Tonight stinks, whatever, but I'm excited that we get the tournament back and all that. And we'll see where they go. We'll see. Tonight, we're in the dumps and all that. They looked great on Friday against at Siena. Then we're flying high again. That's what this time of year is. It's
they rinse a team in 2 weeks in the Sweet 16. Everybody's going to feel fine.
We're going to be laughing about tonight if they rinse a team in the Sweet. Yeah, because I really do. If they get to that second weekend, let's just see where the chips fall and see who they got. And I know there are 2 seeds, so the expectation numerically is you're going to make the second weekend. But
God, could you imagine us and Purdue playing each other this year?
It feels like they have to, right?
They need to record that game for science. Matt Painter and Dan Hurley trying to figure out the fuck is going on.
Did you see the Matt Painter quote today that I tweeted just before the St. John's game?
No, Matt said it. He's going through it too, man. That team is.
He was explaining that most people don't realize that, we play 3 games in 3 days in tournament play. You don't do that in the regular season and stuff. I'm like, Matt, I think everybody fucking realizes that. Like, there's nothing people realize more, in fact, than that fact. And he's just, he and Dan, these are 2 great Hall of Fame level coaches that right now are just, you're 35 games in and you can't, air quotes, fix it.
Yeah, it's just, it is what it is.
So you don't go insane.
It looks like we'll be headed to the, assuming all things pan out, looks like we'll be headed to, if I had to put money on it, I'd say the Midwest to play in Michigan's region. So, woohoo, Cyborg team. Assuming they get that far, but I don't know, because if they're not the top 2, then hypothetically they could go. UConn could go to DC, but I think they'll probably be the top 2 unless Houston jumps them, and if Houston jumps them, then they go to the East. I think East or Midwest.
The funniest thing about today is if we are here in 24 hours talking about UConn as Dukes too, we're all going to be irrationally like, oh yeah, we're good. Like, this is the best thing that happened. They might.
Florida got rinsed today, by the way.
Vanderbilt, who is now above UConn on Ken Palm. What a time we live in.
Shout out HBU great Duke Miles. Duke Miles putting it out. They all started, pick his career back up at High Point, And I have to, look, it's not the reason why UConn lost tonight, but we got our last James Breeding game of the year, and by God, he made his money's worth.
Full Broadway. He went at Penfield's.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Penfield's in here. Nobody went more full Broadway than James Breed. That game was called exactly the way every fan base in the Big East thought, as a fucking joke, and the league just was like, oh, wow, interesting that this has occurred.
It's just so crazy that guy's refereeing a Big East championship game. Like, just absolute
Nobody in the
cracker
league
jacks.
thinks he's good. We would not have won if he wasn't the ref. That is not why we lost.
I'm not one about. He sucked tonight for us. He sucks for everybody all the time. And if you haven't been breeding once or twice in your life, you're not really in this league. The fact that dude's on anything resembling a championship game is just abominable. It is totally lost control tonight. Had no idea. That technical on Dan was horrific. Just a horrific call.
By the way, tonight was because Dan's going to earn it at some point, James. Like 3 minutes in because he jumped and yelled foul. Really?
Yeah, that's
just the tamest thing Dan does on a sideline. Are you kidding me?
All the things
what?
He gets paid for.
Huh? By the way,
he jumped up and down and went,
oh! First of all, he didn't get hurt, which is rare, and you teed him up for it. Do you know what?
I wish I got the audio on him whining too. It was a whole voice crack and everything. I bet you he lost just absolutely start all over himself. But yeah, what are we doing?
Do you know the numbers on like breeding? Do you know how many games he worked this year for UConn?
Oh, half of them.
He worked 9. He worked 26% of UConn's games.
It's crazy.
For
just
any
crazy
ref
time.
to work 26% of a team's schedule is crazy.
Yeah, it can't
anyone,
happen.
even Roger Ayers, who's good, would be insane.
I gotta give Rick credit. Like, came up to him during the review thing and like basically just threatened him right at the mic. Just walked up to him and threatened him.
Yeah, that's the thing. First call night, that goaltend, like what?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Dude,
like,
that was an
right in front of him.
insane goaltend. That was a play to piss me off because like the lack of explosiveness in transition there, concerning. But for them to say that was a goaltend, I was like, I thought we were going to pull this thing off at that point. I was like, oh, this is fabulous. St. John's has gotten a little tight. UConn's getting an insane whistle all of a sudden. But no,
he's Rick shit too, man. He's just a fucking ass clown. I hope Rick showed him a picture of his house. Unlike Zillow, be like, I know where you live, bitch.
But the clown car, you remember the clown car? Another clown.
Another clown.
By the way, anybody that was there tonight, did both fan bases boo the sportsmanship thing in the pregame? I hope they did.
Oh, we have somebody on who can tell us.
Do we?
Well, I don't know if he can speak.
He's there. We got Penfield here.
Hey.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my goodness.
My God. Fucking Vito Corleone here.
This is the first time I've tried to talk in like 2.5 hours. My dear Lord, I am exhausted. I put everything into this.
And that is what they gave
go
you.
see a doctor.
And that's what they gave you. It's not right.
What is the doctor going to do? He's just going to tell me, lay off it, man. Just go to bed. Just stop.
It's kind of a sexy voice of yours, by the way. You should talk like this more. Your wife would probably love this.
My wife doesn't like anything about me.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, did I put that on Spaces?
The good news is nobody could understand it.
I'd like to make a motion that I mean, it can be kind of a co-award because everything's a co-award these days. But Penfield and Postradamus Foot on Gas Award for the 2026 Big East tournament. Like, not that there's really any debate, but I mean these guys left it out on the line. Like, you know, poop on the ground and all that. Like, no one deserves it more than these two.
Wow, look at it's coming back. It's coming back.
Okay.
There's one man that did it harder than either of us, and his name is Bill Klingon. I want to give credit to that man. He ingested more alcohol than I can even imagine.
He had no need to do any of it, and yet there he was.
Weekend to be a bourbon around Bill Klingon, let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh my God. I fucking hate Rick Pitino with every fiber of my being.
The only go-to is the I hate you, but the you have to use the Anchorman. I hate you, but God damn it, I respect you. That's got to be what it is. I don't even hate Rick. Whatever. It's
you know what? I'll say this. I don't care. I don't respect that guy. There's no respect for Rick Pitino.
I just hate him.
Oh, I don't respect him as a human
I don't
being whatsoever,
respect him.
but as a basketball coach, I
No.
tremendously respect him.
Well, yeah,
he is
I
factually a
guess
bad
so.
guy, for some
But
very
he has
obvious reasons that people have just
shown
forgotten
up
happened.
as a
But
thorn in our side at every turn, right? And you know, I remember the Kevin Ollie years, the fucking game at Gamble that felt like the biggest game at Gamble in Kevin Ollie's tenure, and he just fucking killed us. I fucking hate that guy so much. I can't even describe it. I fucking hate him. But anyways, I walked walked 2 miles through Central Park today. So many poops on the ground. I thought it was our night, but it wasn't our night. But I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm still gonna be a UConn fan. I'm gonna watch Selection Sunday, see our draw, and I think we're going to the Final Four because I love UConn, and I'm eternally an optimist. Just, you know, it might be stupid. I might be an idiot, but I will always believe, and just hope that Silas is okay. But we will see what happens tomorrow. I'm excited to get out of Big East play. Really wanted this game tonight, but it is what it is, you know? We just, we have some deficiencies. And I'm ready to go to bed, and hopefully tomorrow is a good day.
so did they?
This is a man who gave us all this
So
weekend.
did they?
Nobody gave
Did
more.
they boo the fucking
I
sportsmanship
really
or
have
not?
nothing left in the tank. No. I just want to
Well, you
say,
need to rest up because we
Colgate
got
toothpaste,
Toothpaste.
Jeeps up the butt, and UConn fans won the dance-off. They won all the shot challenges at the thing. They won a cooler full of sun something vodka or something like that. They won $1,000 in the dance-off. They won $1,000 in the shooting challenge. That's really what matters, right? Who cares about Big East championships when you win a 6 months worth of Colgate toothpaste?
Well, there you go.
As a man with a plan, focus on what matters. Yeah, absolutely.
Rest up, Pimple.
Absolutely.
We're going to need you for the next 6. Or
And
2. Or 1.
I
It could
did
be
last
any.
1 minute longer than Post T. There's not too many people that can last 1 minute. Maybe Rick
Crazy.
no. He could not last 1 minute longer than Post T.
Okay.
He's got 15 seconds in.
All right. No, the belt remains. UConn may not have won the championship trophy, but they still have the belt thanks to you and Posty. And
yeah,
Godspeed. I'd recommend tea. Lots of tea. Lots of introspective thought as well.
Honey lemon, herbal type.
I need everyone to
I
text
drink a
me
little tea every
at
night.
6 a.m. tomorrow to get my ass out of bed and get on the train.
Your family has requested your presence.
Got a birthday party to go to tomorrow.
Oh, I bet you're going to be real. every
That's
every time he goes to open his mouth, and it just sounds.
It's not.
Go ahead.
It's not going to be me that texts you though. I told my wife tonight that I'm getting just disgracefully hammered at my desk here.
Oh,
I don't know why, but I just right now I'm just going to get fucking lit up like a Christmas tree. Probably going to go to bed around 3:30. Text a lot of incoherent shit to people. And I'm going to go to bed and like maybe I'll wake up at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know. But I told my wife, like, do not depend on me at all.
No, you have to
tomorrow
wake
for
up
anything.
tomorrow. I can't do this show
Nothing
solo.
good
I don't care about
happens
your
until
safety. I just
My wife came waltzing into the living room while I was watching the game. And my daughter had a bunch of friends over tonight for her birthday. It was her birthday weekend.
oh, no.
Of course, she's born on the same weekend. It's the Big East tournament every year. So I got to make that call. And yeah, the game started the way that it started, and they were all her and her friends were there, and they promptly left at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
And my wife had gotten a lot of Italian food for everybody for all of them tonight, and came in and she's like, "I got all the food in the car. Do you want to help? We'll go get the food." It's like total Grandpa Simpson just came whistling on in the room, whistling back on out of the room.
Like, do you need me to do anything else that will take me away from this television right now? I'll do anything at this point. Anything. Do you want me to do some light roofing at 8 o'clock?
She comes in the second room. She's like, in the second half, she's like, if you just need to blow off some steam, it's okay. I don't need you for anything tomorrow. And I just looked at her and I nodded. I said, "Yep, no."
There wasn't even steam. They just got their ass kicked.
Just clean right the fuck off.
Man,
it's like standing on top of a steel girder and a fucking just a thing wrecking ball just comes right off the top. Splat.
Imagine having boots on the ground tonight.
Oh
yeah. Glad I saved that money. Sorry you didn't, but oh my God, that was not exactly cheap. At least you got the whole tournament. For me it was like they got their head blown off 3 weeks ago and they were going to be intense, and our guys were like, why was any of that a surprise that they came out with that intensity? And UConn just didn't match it. They just didn't match it. And I'm bringing this up because Penfield, you tweeted, well, these guys care. They care a lot. Don't do this bullshit. They don't care. It's not about care. But translating it into intensity on the basketball floor has been an issue for this group. And Friday night, we're going to find out again. See if I think it's going to go well, but I've given up predicting them, Penfield. I'm rooting for them. I will live and die with them, but I will not predict them until we do the show tomorrow night when we're going to have to.
If they really, Friday night, at least I get to enjoy Thursday and most of Friday before that happens. And hopefully it's a 15 seed.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to fall to a 3.
I guess it's, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But yes, I get to enjoy 2 days of March Madness before I go through this again.
Yeah, everyone's going to immediately look at who the 1 seed is, and I'm going to be like, I mean, let's have that game. I hope we have to play Michigan, because that means they have drastically improved to be able to be in that game. And that game might go really honestly, shitty, but let's have it.
I don't even care what regional we're in at this point, because there's 4 or 5 really good teams this year, and we're going to have to, if we want to advance, we're going to have to beat one of them. And any other team beyond those 4 or 5 teams, we can, I'm not particularly worried about. It's all about if the shots are falling.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. But we'll see how it goes.
I've been told it's a make or miss sport. Thank you, Penfield. Go rest up.
Yep.
Go see your family. Thank you for your extremely hard work this week.
Thank you.
Nobody worked harder.
Penfield's in the same predicament I am now, is that I have this 2026 Big East tournament commemorative mug or a cup, and I just don't want to ever see it again now. I think I'm good. I'm good.
That one's gonna go on the old
storage. Might use this for paint. Might use this for kitty litter. I'm good.
That was my meltdown the other day during my daughter's
game. Maybe I'll get $500 out of a St. John's fan for it. I don't know. Go ahead.
That was my daughter's last game, and I was like, or not her last game, her basketball banquet. She's team MVP this year, by the way. And scrolling through Twitter while I was at my daughter's ceremony, and I saw the commemorative mug, and I got really mad. And now I'm not as mad about the mug anymore. Really wanted that cup. Now I don't want the cup. without the cup. All right, we're gonna go to one more. Carriage 6, man. What do you got for us? Take us home. Carriage 6 going once. You're on mute there, brother. Look bottom left. Oh, Mike, red slash. Almost. Kinda. Beep. Beep, beep. No? All right. Might have requested on mistake. You never know. Get some wild ones in here. Really, man, I'm done with this.
Totally with you. We will run this stupid shit back for a fourth night tomorrow evening. We'll produce live here. What time do you want to do this?
Let's go 9. I think 9 is good.
Oh, it has to be 9.
Yeah, it has to be 9, dude. I have people I have to meet with tomorrow night.
Okay, fair. It'll be a shorter show. I mean,
I'm an important person. God damn it.
It'll be a shorter show because it's just breaking down a piece of paper, but it's my favorite piece of paper. And
nothing gets you more hot and bothered.
As absolutely fucking dog shit as tonight was. And boy, howdy, did that suck. I do want to have the perspective to note the fact that tomorrow UConn will make the NCAA tournament for the 6th year in a row, which is the first time that has ever happened. So as much as we don't really want to talk about the greatness of Dan Hurley on a night like tonight, it's pretty cool to be in this thing every year. And thank God they are, because boy, if tonight was the end, that would really, really suck. So we will pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off. Well, I will. You are going to drink so much alcohol in the next 3 hours. It should be studied.
A little civilization. I'm going to declare war on everybody. I'm going to drop some nukes. I'm just going to be a horrifically immature 40-something fringe boomer. I don't know. Whatever.
Never stop talking shit. Like my favorite thing tonight was, even though I believe it was saying the thing about UConn's still better than St. John's, knowing how mad it made St. John's people, I'm like, yeah, but they are. Because I'm not going to back. Why would I back down? I would be letting them down, and I would be letting all of you down.
Yeah. It's all about rising to the occasion.
Tonight, they were not better than St. John's. The Johnnies go back-to-back regular season and tournament. That's never happened before. It'd be nice if anybody else in this league could fucking try next year. That would be my thing I'm looking for from the league next year. But it is while a sad one, it is the close of another Big East campaign. And now on to the bigger fish as we find out UConn's who they're playing in, I think, Philadelphia on Friday in the NCAA tournament at 6 p.m. later this evening. But you have a lot of beer between now and then. So
yes, I do. And until then, guys, we'll break down the whole piece of paper tomorrow night. We'll talk about the regions. We'll talk about the seeding. We'll get mad. We'll get happy. We'll be pessimistic, optimistic, and everywhere in between. But until then, folks, you guys know the deal. This is, by the way, I think we're coming up on 8 hours of spaces in the last 3 days. So you're welcome. You fucking clowns.
It's worse than that. We did 4 after Marquette.
Oh, no.
That's 12 in a week. And they did that tonight. You ever feel like we could be doing something better with our time? That's my conclusion after 12 hours.
I mean, there's got to be things that we can be doing that are better with our time. I mean, right now we're going on 2.5 tonight. I'm adding this up. I don't give a shit. I'm adding it up in real time. You guys can kiss my ass. I'm going to be here all night. I'm going to add my time up. We went an hour and 45 last night. That was a little bit more respectable. All right. So that's what, 3 3/3.
We did 3:45 last Saturday. So if you want to throw that in.
We did 2 hours the other night. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck are we doing, dude? What are you people doing? What's wrong with all of you? The number of you that are in here tonight, what is wrong with you? Get off the internet, get into bed, and think about what you just did. And then think about what you're going to do tomorrow night. You fucking idiots coming on here and listen to us for another hour, probably 2. We'll probably figure out a way to get to 3. I'm going to play double-digit hours for spaces in a week. easily.
I just tagged you in what I immediately thought of when you did this. It was one of my favorite drill posts. From 2011, is Wario libertarian the greatest thread in the history of forums, launched by a moderator after 12,239 pages of heated debate? That's what us doing 12 hours this week about this team that did that tonight is what it feels like. And I can't wait to live and die with him and everybody listening next week because I love him. Tonight was bad. All we can do is move on.
Move on to the next. There's always tomorrow. But after next weekend, there might not be a tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. We're going to get with the positive and the negatives, folks. But we will see you back tomorrow night, right around 9 o'clock, to go over the brackets, find out where UConn is going to be, what their future may or may not hold, and break it all down for you. You people are going to be back again. You filthy, filthy addicts. But until then, folks, appreciate everybody listening tonight. Sorry I had to sit through that shit. I am too. But sunnier days may lie ahead. Have a great night, everybody. Until tomorrow night, you guys know the deal. Keep in touch with yourselves, everybody. Good night.